Warning. The Federal Communications Commission has determined the following content to be emotionally harmful.
Funny things that you think's funny aren't funny.
Give me cocks all the time. I want cocks all over me.
The Alan Cox Show kicks ass, man.
Welcome. Show me what you got.
You're not going to see a lot of cocks on TV.
Alan Cox from the Alan Cox Show.
I don't know what it's about you, but I can't even stand your voice.
I think you're the biggest asshole alive.
It's going to be a great show.
Let's kick it. I'll say kick it, and you'll just kick it with a tasty groove, okay? 1, 2, 3, kick it. Kick it. Come on. God damn it. Could you one time kick it? What the?
Alan Cox.
Here we go. He'll ad-lib. He'll be fine.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.
Hey, what's going on, gang? Good afternoon. Hi there. How are you? Welcome to the program. I'm Alan. Thanks for showing up. Say hi to Bill Squire, who's right over there.
Hey, creepy hugs, everyone. Thanks for listening to and watching this episode of the Alan Cox Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share a cold one with the boys.
Mary Santora is out. Sausage party today. Poundcake's back behind the glass.
Afternoon, white people.
I'm so happy to be at work because there's lights here.
Oh, you didn't have power?
No,
Our
my
internet
neighborhood
went
looks
out,
like a war zone.
So does mine.
Do you have power?
We have power. Our internet and cable is out. But, like, I was on my way to work this morning, and my normal route got interrupted because there's 3 trees down. So I drove down my road, and then there's a big-ass tree at the end of that street. I'm like, damn.
There's trees down everywhere in my neighborhood.
Yeah, I go around the other way, and I'm like, all right, so this will be fine. Nope, tree down there, too, with caution tape. And then they're chopping up one on another street. I'm like, good God. I was like, I hate living in the ghetto. Like our trees are any less valuable.
My only suggestion would be they should make that police caution tape reflective. Because I got home last night after the show, and I hate the situation, or what I assume is the situation, with the power at my house. Because I live on a corner, and on the main street, the street that's in front of my house, everyone has power. My next door neighbor has power. Unfortunately, my power is on the side street. So everyone on that side street has no power, including my house. So I get home last night, and I'm like, oh, God. Now, here's what worries me when I get home. I realize I've got no power because I can check my thermostat on an app. I have a Nest thermostat.
Right.
You live in a high-rise, right? You don't have to worry about any of this.
Nope. Well, I mean, our power does go out.
But it comes back. Your building's probably got a generator and all that stuff.
I don't think it does, but it rarely goes out where we are, though. Like, it's very... Like, I think I've lost power maybe once in the entire time, maybe twice. But I feel like it does come back pretty quick. Maybe there is a generator, but it's not a huge problem.
When I've lived in high-rises before, usually they don't want an entire building of people without power, so there's like backup generators and things like that.
Well, the one time it went out for a significant amount of time was Jim 2's was over and we were recording a podcast, and we went down to the basement and there was like an old man that was trapped in the parking lot.
Jesus.
Or in the parking garage, because the garage doors are they're electric, so... And then the fobs weren't working to open the locks. So just this doddering old man's like, I was in the garage, and like the lights are on. They have emergency lights on there, but he was just stuck down there for like a half an hour.
Well, I was hoping against hope when I got home that I would see the front light of my house on. It was not on. I was like, God damn it! And then I tried to open the garage door. Obviously, not going to work. Okay. So I get out. Now, my wife and my child have been in Michigan all week. They're at her dad's house. So that's fine. At least it's just me. But my dog was at home. And my dog, anytime there's even a rumble of thunder, vibrates like she's going to pop out the door, right? So I get home, and I go, well, I'll just go in the front door. And so I put my key in the front door. And for whatever reason, this isn't a key that I use very often because I usually go in through the garage. I put my key in the door, and I turn the key. What I don't realize is the key is turning, but the lock is not. So my key twists and breaks off in the lock of my front door. Oh, no. And I go, oh, my God, what am I going to do? Well, thank God I was my gate was open, the back door, like the sliding door.
Yeah.
where the dog is, because sometimes my mother-in-law will check on the dog in the middle of the day, was open. Otherwise, I would have been outside. I would have been stuck outside my house.
With your dog stuck inside your house.
With my dog stuck inside my house, right? Now, I know she's not going to like crap everywhere from being scared, but I just don't want her to be in there scared by herself.
Right.
Because there's more storms coming. By the time I got home, it felt like the worst was over, but literally trees down everywhere. So fortunately, over the last, we've been in our house for about 5 years, and in that time, we've systematically pretty much, we've done a lot of landscaping, so we've removed every tree we had. Otherwise, I would have had a giant tree through my roof or something. So that was good. But so it was like Walking Dead. It's like my neighbors are just milling around on the street on their phones.
Like, what do we
Not
do?
sure, reporting outages or whatever. And so I get inside the house. I end up just like, what am I doing sitting here? Like I'm starting to watch something. I started watching that Woodstock documentary on my phone. It didn't really hold my interest. And so I throw the dog in the car and we just go for a drive. I go, let's see what's going on. And it was, but back to my original point that they should make that caution tape reflective because there was a lot of that out there. And by the time we were still driving, by the time the sun had gone down and I'm on this side street and my dog's in the back seat. She practically went through the windshield because I slammed on the brakes.
Oh my God.
Because there was caution tape from a downed tree all the way across the street, but I didn't see it until I was right up on it. So I'm like,
they probably should make it reflective.
Just a design note, design note. Make that caution tape reflective.
No,
I feel like that's $1 billion idea. Maybe not billion, maybe $1 million.
I was pissed.
Listen, it's a freebie from me to you. I can't possibly be the first person to think of it. But nevertheless, so, but we're to check in on my mother-in-law. She's fine. But holy cow. I was like, well, this sucks. And so, I set up for text alerts or whatever, and they go, we're hoping to have power back to everybody by 10 o'clock tomorrow night. I go,
man.
Okay, hopefully it's
going to... You really get, you lose power more than anybody I know,
I've talked about it. If anyone on my street farts, we lose power.
It's ridiculous.
I was talking to my brother when I went home a couple of weeks ago. I was talking to my brother. I go, hey, do you guys have a generator? Because I was thinking about dropping some coin on one of those generators that you put out back and it's propane powered or whatever. So you still have power to your house. It's like an external generator. And he goes, no, we never lose power because he lives in a subdivision and the power lines are underground. And I'm like, oh, right, that's the best. You never lose power, right? I don't know if you can, maybe an electrician or somebody that works for First Energy can tell me if you can switch your house to another power grid. Because, boy, I'd love to be on the main street, the main road in front of us. I'd love to be on that power grid because everybody around me literally had power except for me because I'm on the fakakta grid that's on my side street.
Can you just get an extension cord from one of your neighbors? Just run it to your house yards?
I don't know. So I'm in my house.
So frustrating.
I went to the lowest level of the house because that was the coolest room in the house to sleep. But I was like, okay,
it's a give and take though, because whenever it's whenever there's a snowflake on your street, you always talk about how the plows are out before the snow's even on the ground. So I mean,
that main street's getting plowed and they got power. He wants to live in that fancy world, not the world where the farts are knocking out the power.
Plus, I have a snow plow. I can do my own driveway and get out of. I'm on a corner, so it's not that big of a deal. I can do that.
Well, you can't have it all, Alan. I'm just saying.
I'm not trying to have it all. I'm just trying to have lights in my house, right? And again, I know tens of thousands of people are in the same predicament. But boy, a lot. As I'm driving around last night, a lot of trees, huge trees.
And that's why I can't believe it. I'm like, really? Winds will really knock down a tree of that caliber? These were massive
80 mile an hour
winds. These are
winds.
massive trees with
I know,
roots.
they weigh more than 80 pounds.
Shut up, Bill. I didn't say that it...
That's Poundcake's calculation is that you need...
He's testy.
Yeah, you need 80 mile per hour winds to knock over something that's 80 pounds.
These are trees that have been there for hundreds of years. And I'm like, wow, a little wind is just going to knock that down.
Well,
really?
it's not a little wind, it's a lot of wind, and the longer those trees are there, the weaker they become. So it's almost like nature culling some of the trees, because these were trees that were gonna fall down. Fortunately, I didn't see trees on people's cars or on people's roofs. It looked like that they were in people's yards or they had blocked a part of the street. But boy, there's a lot going on out there. So what?
I'm just how mad he got over the 80 pounds joke.
Because it's not true.
It was kind of the math that you were
guys
doing.
are
in your head
defaming
yesterday.
my character.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna drop a dime on one of those generators because it's just like even if I use it a couple times a year, it's gonna be,
worth
they
it.
ain't cheap, but I mean, still, it certainly seems worth it to have.
What about solar power?
Solar. Yeah, except that takes, from what I understand, that takes forever to get installed. So
Yeah, probably.
So yeah. Anyway, whatever. So if you've got power, congratulations. Whatever. Bill's got it. Poundcake's got it. I don't got it. I'm powerless.
I didn't even lose it.
Good for you.
On our street, or on 117th, there were a few lights that were out, and that was like the annoying thing that I had to deal with. People not understanding how a four-way stop works.
Yeah, people didn't realize the traffic signals when like a light's out.
And then just on my way to work today, I stopped by the bank, and then there was like a blinking yellow light and a red light, and people again can't figure this out.
It's just a stop sign.
And I'm like, well, if it's a blinking yellow, you go.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
And there's people are creeping through it. I'm like, just go.
Yeah, well, I don't understand. It's because it's not like power loss is an unprecedented thing. So it is always perplexing to me why people are so confused by a traffic light that's out. It's just a four-way stop.
It's very just inconvenient.
It's not confusing.
I had to watch porn on my hotspot last night because I didn't have internet.
So your crotch was your hotspot, and then you had to get one on your phone.
But it's just right when it gets to the good part, it's phone internet, so it's it's not meant for a laptop. I mean, it is, but not as fast. And so it's just getting to after the piggybacking, I'm like, go, and then it's buffering. I'm like, damn it.
You got that little circle?
Yeah, so
buffering?
Then I had to go make myself some food or something like that and wait till the whole video buffered, and then I went back to it.
There you go.
Still.
Yeah. All right. I've got to take a break. You want to get a text in? 35192 to do that if you want to call us. If you're on hold, I'll get you on the way back out too. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app.
816-578-1007 if you want to join us live. 800-348-1007. Indians are hoping to avoid the sweep against the Oakland A's. It's not looking good, though. It's 5-0 right now. They're doing an afternooner. Top of the fourth at Progressive Field. 5-0 A's, and then Tribe will take off for Detroit and start up against the Tigers at Comerica Park tomorrow night, 7:10. And Bill, they call Detroit the Motor City. They call it the Motor City. You ever heard about that?
No.
Oh, named after that Night Ranger song. The Motor City is what they call it. So that'll start up tomorrow.
My brother went to that game last night.
When did it start?
I don't even know. He's in town from Idaho with his family. They're visiting, so I'll be hanging out with them a little bit this weekend. But it's one of those things where like they got there and it's delayed, and they pretty much had the whole place to themselves because there wasn't a lot of people that stuck around for it. But they had fun. They had a good time. They got to hang out with Slider for a long time because he didn't have any other kids to hang out with.
Did they let him run the bases too?
No, I don't think they got that on the field because they weren't in. They were still in the upper deck, and I'm like, you could have moved down. He's like, we like being alone.
Yeah, why not?
That's my family.
Sure. They're pulling an upper decker.
Yep.
So Tribe, top of the fourth, haven't scored yet today. They'll get swept by Oakland if they lose today.
It's a hot day to be at a game.
Hot day. Yeah. So remember that you can use that promo code, by the way, at CLE Clothing Company. You can use the promo code VACATION, and that'll get you 20% off whatever you get over there. Whether you get some Buzzard merch, we got a lot of that. Got Buzzard merch. You can go to WMMS.com, by the way. Take the shortcut. You'll find the Buzzard merch tab there. And just use vacation. You get 20% off. There's a kid. There is a school in Peoria, Illinois. I only know about this school because I had a couple of friends in college who went there. Peoria, Illinois.
I know that because they have a gay congressman who got outed, and his nudes are all over the internet. You know who I'm talking about? I know his name.
I don't what's his name?
Aaron Schock.
Aaron Schock, right. He was a Republican.
Oh, yeah.
They always are. Yeah, they're always closeted Republicans.
Ooh, but he's super hot.
Right, yeah, Aaron Schock. But was he publicly anti-gay?
Yeah, he voted against anti-gay
Okay.
legislation, and then, I don't know if he was in one of those, like, DL circuit parties.
Wait, he voted against anti-gay legislation or for?
He was for anti-gay legislation.
Gotcha.
He wasn't out while he was in Congress, but I think somebody caught him down some Twink's pants in Coachella, and then the picture went viral, and they started spreading his nudes everywhere.
Boy, Coachella will always get you, won't it? Coachella.
You can't be anti-gay
You should call it
at Coachella.
Gotchachella. No, I know. Yeah, he represented from 2009 to 2015. Yeah, his district was Peoria. And then, of course, when you don't have to run for re-election, because he resigned from Congress, when you don't have to run anymore, then you come out as hey guys, I know I voted to make your lives really difficult, but guess what? I'm one of you. What a way to screw yourself, by the way. When you voted against your own progressive interests in that regard, by the way. I mean, you can be a gay conservative. That's what log cabin Republicans are. But they don't
you gotta
all
own it.
Well, I guess you can. I don't know how many. Anyway, so Peoria, Illinois, and for many years it was. There's an old phrase. Well, it won't fly in Peoria. I don't know what you're doing, but it won't fly in Peoria. That was a cliche for a while, and it came from the fact that Peoria, Illinois, was at one point the United States' #1 test market for things, because at the time, I guess it was the diversity demographically of that town was almost a perfect subset of the United States. So Peoria became the #1 test market. So anytime they were working on the McRib or, champagne koozies or
TV shows,
whatever,
TV shows. Play in Peoria.
Will play in Peoria. Anyway, so I had friends in college that went to a school in Peoria called Peoria Manual High School. And there's a kid there now playing football named Jaquarius Green. He's 13, and he already has an offer from a Division I school because he's 300 pounds, 6 feet 4 inches tall.
600 pounds.
No, he's 600 pounds.
Sorry.
Yeah, they just have him stand there, and then people try to tackle him. He's 6'4", 300 pounds, and he's 13 years old.
That's insane.
They said Jaquarius absolutely mauls opponents on the football field.
Malls.
Yeah. He said, I've been this size since I was 9. He just turned 13 in June, and he's playing for a youth football travel team, but he goes to Peoria Manual. Sometimes, he said, I love football. It's fun, although sometimes guys on the other team ask me not to crush them. His nickname is Big Baby. Because he probably he's got baby face.
Big baby!
Big baby!
Just people
Yeah.
count.
If
Wow.
you see a photo of this guy, just Google Jaquarius Green. He's Jaquarius Green #2 on Twitter. He is a giant child. And he's already got one early Division I school offer from Morgan State. I don't even know where Morgan State is, but that's a school that rang him up. That's in Baltimore, Maryland.
I think
Rang him
you
up,
should
said, "Would you
wait
wanna-"
it out.
Huh?
I don't think you should take the first offer.
13?
Yeah.
When he's not even going to be going for another 5 years. So, boy, congratulations to that kid. Whatever happens for him, it's one of those rare occasions where they go, keep your weight up.
Damn.
You stay up there around 300 pounds, you'll be okay. Make sure you keep your weight up. I don't think I'd want to be 13. I'd want to be 13 and 6'4". Hell, I'd want to be 50 and 6'4". Let's not kid ourselves. But I think I would not want to be 300 pounds. I know you and Mary say it's fun being heavy, but it's not.
No. We never said that.
Process is fun.
We never said it's fun
Again,
being heavy.
I know. You said getting there is
getting
fun.
the eating the food.
Right, but again, I can't separate the means and the ends.
You have to.
You
for
can't.
This scenario. You can't?
No.
You can't imagine a situation where you can eat food and not...
Get fat? No.
But just pretend that you... I'm not saying you have to eat the food. I'm just saying, just eating whatever you want. Just think about how much that would be fun.
If I wouldn't gain the weight.
Right. So take that part out of it.
Well, okay, but you can't.
No, you can't.
Oh, this
but
is
you don't need to.
This is a theoretical.
Right. That's what this is always.
But
that's all we talk about.
I
is
know.
theoreticals.
Well, no, we talk about some practical applications here. I mean, well, there isn't a person alive who wouldn't love to eat everything they want and have no negative.
Right, and that's what we're saying.
You
guys
guys said
that's the fun part.
You guys said no. You guys said it's fun.
The process of gaining weight is fun because of eating whatever you want.
What if you were an actor and they said, "Hey, you've got to gain all this weight"?
That'd be great.
It'd be great, right? But then you got to lose it for another role.
Then do that.
They talked to Mark.
That's your job.
They talked to Mark Wahlberg, who put on a bunch of weight for some movie that's coming out. Because this guy works out like it's his religion, obviously. And he's like, yeah. He goes, you're eating hamburgers. He goes, losing weight's easy because you just exercise and don't eat. But he's like, gaining the weight, he said, is fun for a little bit, but then you just feel gross all the time, and it's not fun anymore. And then you got to lose the weight.
I don't need his input.
He owns a Chevy dealership.
I don't care what Mark Wahlberg has to say about anything.
He has a bunch of, as soon as I mentioned to Dan Cummins that Mark Wahlberg had a Chevy dealership, all these people from Columbus started blowing me up saying he's got 3 or 4 of them. He's got them all over Ohio. Mark Wahlberg has just been given his name. He's a name slut, Mark Wahlberg. He's just been licensing his name. He gave some freshman at OSU on the football team some giant tricked out Silverado. Just gave it to him.
You can do that now.
Because it's his dealership.
Right, but now you can actually do that. That in the past, that's like a big controversial thing.
Oh, right, you can gift them now, right?
You can. Yeah. These guys can do endorsements now, which is going to be wild this season.
Yeah.
I interviewed a guy on my podcast that worked out at
the new one?
No, not the new one. But on an episode, Winter Is Not Over, like the actor that I interviewed, he actually is a personal trainer at one of Mark Wahlberg's gyms. Like he's a part owner in
Well, this isn't a local guy.
He is local, but he lives in LA now. He's from here.
Okay. Doesn't currently live here.
No.
He's a native.
He's a native, but yeah, he lives in LA now. Mark Wahlberg comes and works out at his gym all the time, and that's his gym. He's part owner.
Yeah.
What gym does he own? A chain of gyms?
This is a franchise gym. I don't remember the name of it.
No, Mark Wahlberg owns like a healthcare thing, right? That F29 or whatever. I think that's a Wahlberg. He's got his finger in a lot of pies. Boy.
Yeah. Good for him.
I mean, good for him. He's got kids, got a wife. He likes to work. I mean, you've got a limited window of time in which you can work, and so obviously you want to maximize that.
Of course, I mean,
but I don't understand why
Robert De Niro is. Boy, miss seeing him in movies.
No, I mean when you're all your roles are you being jacked. You've got a limited,
But why doesn't everybody do that? Why wouldn't everybody license their name to make a business? Like, I feel like a lot more actors should do that.
I think it's probably a hassle too, because if your name, they'll write you a check every year and your name's on the building, but then you're associated with that dealership. Even though you literally have nothing to do with it. You come by once a year, you cut a ribbon, whatever. Hi. If that, right. Otherwise, somebody has a bad experience. Your name is there was a huge drug raid at Mark Wahlberg, Kia or whatever. You don't want that.
I'm never going to see another Transformers movie again because I got ripped off by Mark Wahlberg Kia.
That's right. The press would make you think that he's personally selling cars to people, but that's not what it is.
True. That makes sense.
So you're anything bad goes down. That's why these guys always go overboard on the charity stuff, because you want good press. You want Mark Wahlberg Chevy raised $400,000. You don't want Mark Wahlberg Chevy. I'm just using their name. I know it's a real place. I'm just using their name. But Mark Wahlberg, whatever, the subject of a federal investigation. You don't want that. So, there's two sides to that coin. But just on the basic level of attaching your name to something, that'd be fine. I mean, there are so many car dealerships already called Celebrity Auto Sales. I don't know why anybody needs to put their name on them. That encompasses all of them.
I love it when it's
Celebrity Auto Sales.
When you get like this street sign that says 5-star motel, and you get there like, who is rating this? Who is rating this motel? Who is coming to this?
The 5-star motel is an oxymoron.
5-star motel. Maybe the hipsters, they like to go old school.
But I'm like, don't you have to have some type of like rule in place? Like, you can't just call yourself 5 stars and then when people come in, they're like, nope, this is only 3 stars. It's just like the whole Subway thing. Like, this isn't a 12-inch. It's actually 9 inches. I want my money back.
If I had a dime for every time I heard that.
I can't think of a scenario where I've ever been to a hotel that, like, or a motel that's calling it 5 stars.
But I'm saying in this scenario, like top motel in Canada, and then you go, and then
you've got hotel, motel, Holiday Inn.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Do you know the difference between a hotel and a motel?
A motel is somewhere you stay for like a night.
No, a motel you get to your room from the outside.
Is that really
pretty much? Yeah, you have exterior access.
Okay. Well, I was thinking it was a shorter stay. Hotel.
No, you can stay at a hotel for one night.
I was thinking like motel, mobile, hotel, home. That's how I. What?
No, I like the way your brain works.
M-O and H-O. That's how I rationalized it.
Okay, so M-O is mobile. What's the T-E-L part?
And how are they mobile?
No, I'm just saying, if you're on the go, stay at a motel.
Oh, you're mobile.
If you're staying in a hotel,
but nobody stays in a hotel in their hometown. Everyone staying at either is mobile.
I'm just telling you how I rationalize it.
You're thinking of like an extended stay hotel.
Yeah, you're thinking of like Kenwood Suites or something like that, where it's got a kitchenette in it, and No, a motel, as I understand it, is like usually roadside, like it's a last minute decision. It's super cheap.
Yeah, the door's open to the outside,
and it's exterior access. Yeah,
like Red Roof Inn, Motel 6. Those are motels.
There's no amenities. There's no. You'll get towels or whatever, but. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Motel for mobile, hotel for home.
That's how I rationalized it. That's how I did it.
I understand.
That's how I always thought it was. Motel's quicker stay.
Again,
like there are people by the hour.
There are people. I think it has more to do with how much money you want to spend. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money, you could stay at a motel for a week. You could stay at a hotel for one night.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think you can rent a hotel for an hour. You have to rent it like by the day.
No, actually,
a motel, you can rent like if people go to cheat on their wives, they can get a quick motel. You rent it by the hour. It's like what? $7 an hour, $10 an hour.
I'll tell you what though. Some of the bigger hotel chains finally got smart because what they started to do was it's primarily airport hotels, but they will now rent rooms for half the day for people who have layovers.
That's smart.
So you can get a hotel room from like 8A to 5P, or you can get 5P to 10P, So, yeah, they got real smart. I don't know when they started doing that, but most airport-adjacent hotels will rent you a room at like half a rate. Like, I have a 10-hour layover. I don't want to sit in the terminal. Let me go take a nap, watch some TV. So it's a way for them to make extra money. Mark Wahlberg bought his first Chevy dealerships in Columbus a couple of years ago, and I think the one up here in Avon is relatively new. He partnered with a guy out of Michigan who owned 8 Chevy dealerships all throughout Michigan. He was opening a new one in Columbus, and it's Mark Wahlberg Chevrolet. I don't know if he's partial to Chevrolet. This is how smart a businessman Mark Wahlberg is. He was already doing Chevy stuff because they got that Transformers contract, right?
Yeah.
For product placement. All the Bumblebee, they did a goddamn spin-off of Bumblebee. It was basically a Chevy commercial because it was a Camaro, I think.
I mean, all those movies are basically Chevy commercials.
They're all commercials, yeah. And so Mark Wahlberg goes, hey, I already know the Chevy guys. Let me slap my name on a dealership. You know, if you go out to Denver, you'll see John Elway Ford. You know, just guys who are, some of them are local heroes, other people are...
It's way more common with like a athlete than like an actor.
Yeah.
You don't see it with an actor almost ever.
Right.
I can't think of another one that's actually done it other than Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, I got my car over at Hugh Jackman Kia. But we had, in Chicago, we had Scottie Pippen Dodge.
How'd that work out?
He still got it.
Does he?
I think, yeah, but he just slaps his name on it. Scottie Pippen Dodge.
I thought that like he did one of those things in like maybe it was a restaurant and it didn't go well.
Like Michael
He
Jordan's
lost a bunch of
restaurant.
money.
Well, there, you figure at a restaurant, you're at the mercy of the chef. A car dealership, you know, you're just attaching your name to an existing car brand, you know? So Scottie Pippen Dodge is on like the north side of the city. It's not even a suburban thing. It's up there. It's in the city. People go up. First couple of years, because he still lives in the area, first couple of years, people are like, you get a picture with Scotty. He'd be bored on a Saturday afternoon, and word would get around Scottie Pippen was up at the car dealership. But, yeah, I think you're right. Mark Wahlberg Chevrolet. Maybe he's the guy holding down the grass so other people can, you know, follow him along. Somebody's got to blaze that trail. Would you get a car from Paul Rubens Mercedes? Would you buy a car from Pee Wee Herman?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I'm more likely to go there than I think the Mark Wahlberg store.
Really? I like Mark Wahlberg.
I don't dislike Mark Wahlberg, but I don't.
You don't want to drive a Chevy.
I'd rather drive
You do drive a Chevy.
I do drive a Chevy.
Oh.
I'm over driving Chevys.
I was going to say, you're over, yeah. But you didn't get
no
yours
more
from Mark
Chevys.
Wahlberg
No,
Chevy.
I got mine from a dealership that's not around anymore.
Can Scottie Pippen be like the new exhibit and go around saying, I'll pip your ride?
Pip Your Ride, yes. Gladys Knight already did that, though. She had a short-lived show called Pip My Ride, where she stuffed a bunch of old singers in the back seat. I got to take a break. If you want to get a text in, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com. You can watch live there if you like. And you can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.
Any idea who this is, Cody? The song is used in a ton of things. You might not know who it is, though.
Willie Nelson.
That's a great pick. You're wrong, but I'd love to hear Willie cover this. You know, like Johnny Cash covered Hurt by Nine Inch Nails?
Yeah.
This is Iggy Pop. James Osterberg from Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever heard of Iggy Pop before?
I thought he was a guy.
Iggy Pop, yeah. He fronted a band called the Stooges in the 60s, and then...
What was the band
went
that we were
solo.
talking about, Bill, that I thought was one guy and it turned out to be...
Steely Dan?
Ah, yeah, that was it.
Iggy Pop is now, and I don't know why. I don't know who their target audience is. I don't know. Maybe the guy who runs the place just likes Iggy Pop. We're talking about people putting their names on things. Iggy Pop is now the pitch man for Unagi scooters, which are high-end electric scooters. You think they would want to... Maybe they're really expensive. Maybe they're trying to go for... I don't know. I mean, Iggy Pop fans are easily in boomer territory. I don't know if that's your target audience. But they never once, by the way, show Iggy Pop on the actual scooter. Iggy Pop is 70-something right now. And a lot of people think Iggy Pop looks gross, but that's how I want to look when I'm older. I want skin stretched over a skeleton. That's what I want to look like. He's 74 years old, Iggy Pop. And he just lives in the islands, and he's got some hot Tahitian wife or something. I saw him 20-plus years ago at the old Roseland Ballroom in New York City. He reunited with the Stooges for a show, and it was great. But he's currently the pitchman for electric scooters.
Unagi. I'd steal one. If I could. Maybe they should rename it Iggy. Yeah, cool.
So again, I don't know who they're going for, but Unagi is using Iggy Pop as their pitchman for these scooters. By the way,
a cool $1,000.
Is that how much they are?
For the dual motor, it's $1,000. For the single motor, $840. So
yeah.
At that point, I feel like go for two motors.
Yeah. Somebody was telling me in the break that Hakeem Olajuwon used to have a Burger King on the east side of Cleveland. Is that true?
I had no idea.
Hakeem Olajuwon, by the way, we're talking about Mark Wahlberg putting his name on Chevy dealerships, and Bill said it's usually with athletes, which is absolutely true. It's usually much more likely with athletes. Hakeem Olajuwon would put his name on anything, by the way. He was opening up Red Mangoes in Houston. Remember Red Mango?
Yeah, because he was sending all his money to his home country.
Was he?
Yeah, he's like a real... Him and like Dikembe Mutombo have like bigger legacies, and these are like Hall of Fame basketball players, but what they've done in Africa, like as philanthropists, is incredible.
So he's sending money all home to Nigeria.
Yeah.
And okay. Hakeem Olajuwon would stick his name on Burger Kings. He had a Red Mango in Houston. He opened a Nestle Toll House Cafe. Ooh. Does anybody remember those? Those are probably still around. I think they show up in malls. Hakeem did stuff with Burger King and McDonald's over the course of his career. Yeah, so that I understand. If those guys are... Because Dikembe was doing the Geico commercial, right? Where he smacks the ball out of the guy's hand or whatever. So these guys are just sending money home. To their home countries.
I know I'm not sure exactly what Olajuwon's done, but I'm pretty sure he's done a lot. But he also likes making money too. So
well, sure,
yeah, I'm sure he's taking his cut of everything, and then still also trying to do some good things as well.
So here's Dikembe Mutombo's full name. He's from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. He's from Kinshasa, which I think is one of the biggest cities on that continent. His name is Dikembe Mutombo Mplando Mukamba Jean-Jacques Wamatumbo. That's his full name. Mm-hmm. He's Congolese American. So one of his parents was here or something, and he sends a lot of money home to Kinshasa. He's only a couple years older than me. He's 55. Which of your names, and there's probably an official way to do it, but with all those names, so how do you pick what your last name is going to be? Your professional name. You've got all those names you could choose from. You're going to stick with Dikembe.
I feel like the name thing for them in their culture is like a generational thing. So I feel like Mutombo is his last name, and all the other names that go with it are descendants of his.
Okay.
I believe. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, that's what they do with show animals here. You know, they'll have the names of the ancestors. And did I ever tell you, Bill, about a cow?
No, you did. I know all about it.
Cow.
Stop it.
There was a cow named Contented Linda Grace. Bill, and
still going.
The reason they had these big, long names, of course, is because they would acquire the names of their mother and father and half their ancestors, like you're talking about here with Dikembe Mutombo Mplanda Mukamba Jean-Jacques Wamatumbo, which is just fun to say. If that were him, I would have absolutely, once I became a professional basketball player, I would have absolutely kept that name. Because the sports announcers would have to announce that every single time. Mutombo Mplanda Mukamba Jean-Jacques Wamatumbo for 2. You know, it would like extend, it would be tough.
Do you remember?
It's kind of musical when you say it.
There was a kids show called Figure It Out, and maybe it was called Figured Out or Hidden Talent, but I'm pretty sure it was.
Those are 2 very different names.
But it was hosted by the same host, I believe.
I remember
Summer
Figure It
Sanders.
Out. Yeah.
And literally one of the. Because the whole show is based upon you figuring out this person's hidden talent. So I think it was called Figure It Out. And they would leave hints. This person's hidden talent was a girl that had a really long name. And that was her talent, was no one could say her full name. And she said it was like a sentence. And she was reading it off after, because no one is going to guess this bitch's name. Like, that's not a hidden talent. The fact that she could say her whole name.
Yeah, it's her name. Why wouldn't she be able to say it?
But she was leaving clues to other people to figure it out.
Oh, I see.
That's the whole point of the show. Is okay, one of her names was after a shoe, so they dropped shoes down, and they were like, Nike. She's like, no. New Balance, no. And then they kept dropping hints, and she had a sentence-long name, and everyone was like, get this bitch. Like, even back then, they're like, get her off the stage. That's not a hidden talent. But I just could not believe that they put her on there like that. That's probably the one job she got because she had a long name.
Yeah.
I wonder where she is now.
I feel like she's been on other shows too, because I like.
Do you remember that episode?
I don't remember that episode specifically, but there's a girl that was on Oprah because there's 1,000+ letters in her name.
Stupid.
1,000?
Stupid. Yeah. How can they do that? How can you put that on a birth certificate?
Well, it's a cultural thing, right?
No, it's not. You're
you
just
say
trying to
letters
be
by
difficult.
calling it a birth certificate. That makes room for all the 1,000 letters.
I had a friend in college, a girl named Nike, and it was technically Nike. She was Nike. Technically, is like Greek for it's Nike. It's Greek for swift or fast or something. And she was 1,000% Greek. Her name was Nike, but everybody called her Nike or whatever because you're looking at it. They'd be like, oh. She'd be like, yeah, I got it. And you're like, why would you, so it's one of those things where it's like if your family's really into your heritage, they're going to give you a name, but Americanized, everybody's going to give you a hard time about it. They're going to mispronounce it. They're going to misspell it. They're going to make jokes.
And then America has just, we have the perfect names, like Tom and Jim and Jeff.
Those are the perfect names?
No, I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, well, those are fine names. I mean,
they're not.
What's the matter with those? Everything's cultural, and if you're Irish, what?
They're lame.
You're mad because you're named Cody.
I'm super mad I'm named Cody.
Change your name, man.
Yeah.
It bothers you a lot.
You could go by Alan Brown. You could go by your middle name and your last name. You could be Alan Brown.
I'm going to go by Varik.
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 All right. Well.
How do you spell Varik?
Yeah.
Verick. Varik.
Verick. Why not Variq? Too ethnic? How about Varik Mutombo Mplanda Mukamba Jean-Jacques Wamatumbo? How's that sound? Add all those on there.
I mean, how am I tell others how to spell my name if I can't even do it? I can't even pronounce my own name.
Alan, Poundcake does realize that motel literally means mobile hotel, right? It was for people that were getting off the highway.
But that's what I said.
Specifically designed for motorists.
I said I rationalize it with mobile and home.
Yeah, or motor hotel, not mobile. Motor hotel. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what I said.
I like your explanation. Motels for people who are mobile, hotels for people who are at home.
No, I'm staying.
You know what, honey?
Stay.
You know what, honey? I don't want to stay at our house tonight. Let's go stay at a motel. We can't. We have to stay at a hotel.
Make yourself at home.
Make yourself at home. Okay.
At the hotel.
Right.
Not the motel. Get on out.
Would there be any kind of unfortunate nickname for a hotel motel?
Holiday Inn?
No. You know how they call Howard Johnson a hojo? What would they call a hotel motel? He's got to say it. I can't say it. He's got to say it.
Right up. It's right there.
What would you call? You ever heard of the Howard Johnson Motor Lodge hotel chain? They're mostly gone. I think I've seen them every so often. But Howard Johnson, they would contract to hojo. Years ago when they were trying to get people back into them, they called them hojos because it sounded cool. So they take the H-O from Howard, the J-O from Johnson, and they contract it to hojo. Mm-hmm. How would they be able to contract a hotel-motel combo?
What am I missing here?
The first two letters.
The first two letters.
Word, man.
Yeah, the first two. Okay.
Hotel-motel. What would they call that?
Homo.
This guy.
I was confused at what you were asking.
And it's more fun when it finally dawns on him. It takes a while to get there.
Homo, yeah, I thought you were saying this. Hold on.
What? Oh, he's writing it down.
His brain just works different.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I like to get in there and scrape around and see what's happening.
That's what I thought you were trying to say. I was like, that doesn't make sense.
A hoe job?
Yeah.
What's a hoe job?
I don't know.
That's where I come from.
From Hojo?
Yeah.
Howard Johnson. It's already Hojo. It doesn't need to be.
He was using that as an example of
I get it, a homo.
The way he was doing it.
I get it. I get it now. I was just saying a place. Where can I get a hoe job? Like that's what I was thinking.
Hoe job.
That's what I was thinking of. I'm like, okay.
Right.
Let's say
just
the
gigolo.
Gigolo. And everywhere I go.
Where does a gigolo work? A hotel or a motel?
Well, charging by the hour, that would be definitely a motel. High-end people like governors and athletes, that would be a hotel because you're not charging by the hour.
They were going to put a hotel downtown at the arena. The Hojo Fijo was going to be there. You'd be able to rent rooms by the week or the night or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like if you're staying in the hotel and you have some type of gigolo or escort, you're taking them out to dinner first. You don't want to make them feel like a whore. They know they're a whore.
You don't want to make them feel like what they do?
Because
if I'm a lawyer, I want someone to hire me because I'm a lawyer.
Yes, but
I don't want to make you feel like you're a lawyer. But could you legally represent me? How do you think I came up with Romo Fijo, by the way, as a contraction for the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse?
Is it just now going to dawn on him what it stands for?
You took the first two letters of Rocket.
Yeah,
and then
mortgage, and
mortgage.
then Field House, even though it's one word, I think. Right.
Yeah, and then Ho.
Yeah.
Romo Fijo.
Yeah.
Do you see that package that Erica got from Romo Fijo?
No.
No, she posted it on her Instagram and Twitter.
She got a package.
They sent her a nice gift package. It had a little camera and it had a list of upcoming events and T-shirts. And we didn't get one.
We didn't get a goddamn. I'm the one that came up with Romo Fijo.
I don't think they don't like the Romo Fijo.
I don't think they like it because
I see. Oh, they sent her Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse sent her something. Oh, yeah. I see. Well, I hate to tell you guys, it's being called the Romo Fijo. So you can call it whatever you want. But Romo Fijo is a thing. No, good for her. But let's see. Come on. You should embrace it. You should embrace it. Nobody's going to call it the Rock or whatever nonsense you guys, whoever runs the place. You're not going to make that happen.
Romo Fijo.
Where Cleveland turns up.
Latched on to the fans, yeah.
Yeah. So, they dropped a trailer Ryan Murphy, who did American Horror Story, that anthology, he also does a series called American Crime Story.
Yes.
And they did O.J. Simpson, right? Where David Schwimmer played Robert Kardashian, whatever. Well, the new one is called American Crime Story Impeachment, and it's about the impeachment of Bill Clinton. So Clive Owen plays Bill Clinton. They put him in a prosthetic nose. You know who Clive Owen is?
Yeah. It seems like a weird choice.
They kind of make him look like Clinton. The eyes are weird. Edie Falco is playing Hillary Clinton. Sarah Paulson, who is in every one of these Ryan Murphy things, is playing Linda Tripp.
But she's great.
And Beanie Feldstein. Do you know who Beanie Feldstein is?
No.
It's Jonah Hill's sister is playing Monica Lewinsky. Which has got to be weird because Beanie Feldstein doesn't get a lot of roles, except they need Jonah Hill in a wig. They get her, right?
Monica Lewinsky wasn't even that. She was good looking back in the day,
but she wasn't skinny. Beanie Feldstein's not ugly, but she's a curvy gal, is my point. And so obviously you're going to want a girl to look like Monica Lewinsky, and she does enough. But I still think they should have gotten Jonah Hill and put him in a wig. But then you would have had people getting upset. Oh, another role for a female given to a male just because he can put a wig on and they're related. You know how people say that.
Right, exactly.
All the time.
I wonder.
All the time. Constantly.
Yeah, I think they should have got, what's his face to be Bill Clinton?
Bill Clinton?
The guy that...
I think he's just kicking around.
What's it called? Saturday Night Live.
Daryl Hammond?
Daryl Hammond. He's the best Bill Clinton.
Daryl Hammond is in... Are you watching What If over on Disney+?
I haven't watched that yet.
Daryl Hammond is in the credits, but I'm just not sure which voice he does. I love What If, boy. When I was a comic book nerd, What If was one of my favorite titles, and I'm so excited, genuinely excited, that they're animating this. It's Chadwick Boseman's final acting part. Because they have all the people doing the voices. They don't have Downey, and Chris Evans didn't do Captain America. But... They have everybody else. And so they had Haley Atwell doing Peggy Carter, because the first episode is What If. What If was this Marvel series where they were like, what if one thing changed? You know, the multiverse before the multiverse was in the movies. And they were like, what if one thing changed and the history as you know it was different? So rather than Steve Rogers being Captain America, it becomes Peggy Carter. So it's Captain... They don't call her Captain Britain, but...
They call her Captain Carter.
Captain Carter.
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman's last performance is playing What if Black Panther was Star-Lord? Some of these are weird. Some of them...
But that's the fun of it.
That's the fun of it, is they really take their liberties with it.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch it. I just was finishing up F-Boy Island today. So had that on in the background while I was doing some work this morning. And,
Dude, I love, I was so... interested in the O.J. Simpson trial, and I wasn't even I was a baby when it happened, and I didn't realize it went.
You were a
down.
baby.
I didn't realize it went down like that. Now this whole impeachment thing, these people are still out and about, and I couldn't imagine what if Hillary was president right now, and then they're making this film.
Then probably get better ratings.
Yeah,
but the thing
it's
is,
still going to get great ratings. The Crown gets great ratings.
I cannot get into true crime stuff. I know people love it, but.
I don't like when people die.
No, but I'm saying this, the OJ thing, and people are like, oh, you got to watch the series. I try and watch it. I'm like, I don't care.
But it's just so
I don't really either. I mean, if you don't know the story, it would be interesting. But otherwise, it's just people dressed up as...
Right.
It sounds stupid because I know
documentaries on it and stuff like that, like the OJ documentary, I'm just man, it's... And I like documentaries about lighter things. I watched the one about the Malice at the Palace. That, that's got some... heft to it, but it's not about someone dying, I
wonder why true crime blew up the way it did.
People love it, and I just cannot do it. It's not interesting, and it's incredibly sad.
It is,
and it just makes me I don't know. I just don't get pulled in the way other people do.
It's very repetitive too, because
incredibly repetitive.
Every one of them basically follows the same template. Somebody was murdered. Somebody was charged. There's a secret. And usually there's very little payoff because you're just kind of documenting things that the information is out there, whether you know it or not.
Maybe I just got burned out on it because I used to watch the ID channel so much. Because I would watch those where they're an hour long and it wraps everything up in the hour. When it's a series and it goes and Making a Murderer, I think that was the one where I was like, I can't do this anymore. They're not giving us any information.
Right.
It's just the same thing
rehashed
again and again and again.
Did he do it or didn't he?
And at least with the OJ one, there, is
You know how
more
it
of a
ends.
conclusion, but it's still like it just does not grab me the way it grabs other people. And the people are so like people that listen to true crime like every day, like those podcasts, like every day. I'm like, well, how is this all the entertainment you want?
That Discovery Plus streaming service that they just launched, Discovery Channel used to be like the domain of animal shows and all kinds of other things. And it's still on there, but the hook in selling to people is your home for true crime.
Yeah.
So it's all these murder documentaries and, even those podcasts. I think we're on the tail of the comet now where you're hearing people do some true crime podcasts that are really, really dumb. And really don't have that much to do with, they found a case that happened and they go, let's turn this into 10 episodes.
Well, the next layer of it's going to be the person that started committing true crime to talk about on their true crime podcast.
Right. A copycat murderer. So, yeah, it's whatever. That's how they're selling it to people is your home for true crime. But yeah, a lot of it's kind of dull. That's why I like Forensic Files. It's 30 minutes.
Get it over with.
Technically 22 because there's ads. Yeah. And there's some science in it. It's old. Some of it's late 80s, early 90s. So they make a big deal once the era of DNA starts. Because before that, they're, blood splatter technician and Jim Fox.
And those are only something that I'll watch when I'm on the road or like in a hotel or a motel or a homo.
A hot mot?
Yeah.
Because they're always on.
Yeah, because they're always on. But it's not something that like I seek out ever. And it's so like the people that like this American impeachment story, no interest in that at all. I don't even care.
I like the actors, so I may watch it for that. But again, I don't want to sit through 10 episodes of something that I lived through 25 years ago.
You might learn some things that you didn't know.
Well, everything that he's going to learn from it is going to be speculation.
Cares? Well,
it's going to be. They're not going to put anything in this that we don't really already know.
But even if I do learn, what good is that going to do me? So out of curiosity, I may
made
peek
for
in on it.
entertainment purposes.
Well, then you watch it and you give me a weekly report.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do another sports break. This one would be True Crime Break with
True Crime
in Cold
Break.
Blood with Poundcake.
Yeah, that's right. In cold-blooded. I got a break. I'll have $50 to Petiti Garden Center for you. They're celebrating 50 years, and so you get $50. We are giving away $1,000 to Petiti over at WMMS.com, so make sure that you register for that as well. 35192 on a text for anything, and we'll be back.
The Alan Cox Show.
right, Petiti Garden Center. Who knows? You might need to replace some shrubbery or some trees or whatever. They're celebrating 50 years, and so I'll give you $50 to Petiti Garden Centers. We're giving away a $1,000 gift card, by the way. Go to WMMS.com. You can register to win that there. Petiti's is always going to have your best selection of fresh annuals, perennials, trees, shrubs to keep your garden growing beautifully all summer long. Highest quality, best selection, exceptional service. Petiti Garden Center is locally grown and family-owned since 1971. 50 years. It checks out. $50 for you to Petiti's. Good luck. Call 10 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Some things are never meant to be discussed in polite society. Welcome to Impolite Society.
The Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS.
This is always an underrated Metallica song, I thought. It's called Through the Never. I've seen them play it live a couple of times, but I don't think it's like a crowd favorite. It was the first track on side 2 of the Black Album, which came out 30 years ago today. Metallica Black Album, which put them in a completely different stratosphere of fans. It's one of the best-selling albums of all time. It came out August 12th, 1991. I texted my brother today, my middle brother. Well, I have 2 middle brothers now, but, you know, because he and I sat on the hood of his car and listened to this when it came out at midnight, August 12th, 1991, and we couldn't process what we were listening to because it sounded so different from every Metallica that had preceded it. They got a new producer. They had worked with this Danish producer for all their earlier stuff, this guy named Flemming Rasmussen. And they decided they wanted to go in a different direction. So they hired this guy named Bob Rock, who was more known for putting together like glossy hair band albums, I think. But they wanted a different sound, and so they got this guy Bob Rock, and they stuck with him for a long time. I think before they started just producing the albums themselves. But the Black Album came out 30 years ago today. It ended up going 16 times platinum. It was on the Billboard 200 for 550 weeks. No way to know how many years that is. And it became the second longest charting title in history.
Pretty good. Good job, guys.
Pretty good for Metallica. Lars Ulrich said, you think one day some guy's going to tell you you have a #1 album and the whole world's going to ejaculate. I stood there in my hotel room, and I just got a fax that said you're #1. And I was like, well, okay, it was just another fax from the office. So I guess to them, maybe life didn't change the way they thought. But they've been kind of dribbing and drabbing these Metallica covers because they're putting out this September like a remastered 30th anniversary thing, remastered edition of the Black Album. And they're going to also release a 53-track covers album called the Metallica Blacklist. And so they've been dripping and drabbing versions of these songs. Black Album was the first of the Metallica albums to have a ballad, which was Nothing Else Matters. And Weezer did Enter Sandman for this thing. Some other people have done some other songs.
That's what I've been waiting for, is Weezer to do some Metallica.
Do you know who Phoebe Bridgers is?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did SNL. She's real cute. She did Nothing Else Matters for this Black covers album.
Trust I seek and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view. And nothing else matters.
Kind of taking the Billie Eilish vibe there. Yeah. But I don't hate it.
More breathing, less singing.
Right. So, yeah. The Metallica Black Album, 30 years old as of today. And it was, it peeled away a contingent of OG Metallica fans, but they ended up, the gamble paid off because they ended up crossing over, and most of the songs on that album got played on the radio, and it opened them up to an entirely new audience. It was people who reviewed it at the time said it was the equivalent of when Bob Dylan went electric. And a lot of people hated that. A lot of original Bob Dylan fans just wanted him sitting there going, yeah, with an acoustic guitar. And this
I was fine with him not doing either.
Enter Sandman, Sad But True, The Unforgiven, Wherever I May Roam, Nothing Else Matters. These are all songs that came off.
I thought it was Sad Patrol.
Sad Patrol! No, but I like that. 12 songs in all. It was a bonus track if you got the Japanese version of the album. That used to be a thing. You guys might be a little young for that, but that used to be a thing. Yeah, when you get Japanese imports, because it had songs that were only available on those.
We go to Quonset Hut.
What?
There was a record store called the Quonset Hut.
Quonset Hut? Isn't that where they sell dashikis?
Yeah, well, they also had imports.
Wow. Well, those are imports. You can't get a dashiki domestically.
No, it was in Akron, and we go there because then we could get albums that they had more rare stuff.
Yeah.
We went to the mall or like Best Buy. They just had regular stuff. We wanted rare stuff.
I see. Well,
so we go
Quonset Hut is a great place if you only want to get those mahogany greeting cards. All right.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on 30 years of the album. I've never been a Metallica guy.
I know you're not. This is all for me. This is just for me. Yeah, you guys can kick back. This is just for me.
That you're happy.
Yeah, my coming of age with heavy metal and rock and roll. When I started playing the drums, my mom had been a drummer, so my mom handed me a stack of albums. And in that stack of albums was Van Halen 1. And so my formative years in rock and roll, I lived for Van Halen until I discovered Metallica. And then life for me was all about Metallica and anything they did. And so when the Black Album came back, we had already had Kill 'Em All, we'd had Ride the Lightning, we'd had And Justice for All, we'd had Master of Puppets, all of them in and of themselves, each one almost a quantum leap from the thing that preceded it. So even if you didn't like Metallica, the changes these guys were going through.
I don't dislike them. I just never
it was never your thing.
I never bought an album. Yeah. I never turn on a Metallica song. When I hear it, I go, oh yeah, this is okay. But it just has never been a thing where I've sought out Metallica because it just, whatever it is, maybe it's just because it's always been around for me that it never meant anything to me. It was just, I just never cared. And it didn't, none of the songs really get me going either. It gets some people real hyped up, and I'm like, no, it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, they're not for everybody. And if you came to them late, I imagine there are probably some people who are entirely unfamiliar with their thrash metal beginnings. If you only got to them post Black Album, where it was a lot of quarter notes and a lot of bar chords and things like that, you'd be like, Metallica. Mid-90s was a very fallow period for Metallica. I almost peeled away. I almost sent back my Metal Militia membership card that I got when I was 12 years old. Almost turned it in. But we didn't have Kwanzaa Hut in Chicago, so we had to go to other places.
Sorry,
we had to go to Coconuts and Sam Goody and Musicland, and we had to go to all those places.
But did
Round Records.
Sam Goody, did that have the imports?
Yeah, Sam Goody had imports.
Okay.
Sure.
I don't think we had a Sam Goody around here. Or if we did, we had like the mall version. And I always feel like if Virgin Records or Sam Goody or what was the
Tower Records is what we had
Records,
too.
yeah, like any of those, the mall stores were not as good as like the ones that you go to in like a big city where it's just like a freestanding store on its own.
Well, you might recall the tagline, Goody got it, Bill, and they did. Imports, domestics, all of it. There are only 2 Sam Goody stores left within the United States. One of them is in St. Clairsville, Ohio.
Camelot Music, was that a place?
Camelot was?
Yeah,
Yes.
I remember that place.
Ohio Valley Mall in St. Clairsville, Ohio, which is part of the Wheeling, West Virginia metropolitan area, so it's right on the border. That's one of only 2 Sam Goodies left in the entire country. The other one is in a mall in Medford, Oregon. But that was part of Musicland. So there was Musicland and Sam Goody. NRM, you remember National Record Mart?
No, I don't.
Did you have those?
I don't think so.
And we had Tower Records, Coconuts. I feel like there was a record store comic book chain called Jelly Beans. Do you remember that at all?
Never heard of that.
Jelly Beans. It was comic books and records, I think. But a lot of those, Sam Goody went belly up 15 years ago.
I'm trying to remember.
But we did
Camelot
not have...
was like the main one, I think, that I remember growing up because like it was Camelot was the one that was in the mall that was closest to my house. And like that's where I bought my first tapes from. And even like when I went to record stores, like by the time I was like paying attention to what was there, it had moved from records to CDs. Like records were pretty much not being sold anymore.
Yeah. So they were,
I feel like there was a like in between, like it was Camelot and then something else, and then it became like FYE.
Did FYE come out of Camelot?
I feel like they at least are in the same spaces that was in, but I can't remember.
Camelot became Specs Music.
I don't know. I've never heard of Specs.
Well, again, we could go on and on, but I'm bummed that we never had Kwanzaa Hut in Chicago. Camelot opened its first retail store in the country in North Canton, Ohio. 1965. Look at you guys. You were really on the cusp, the cutting edge of retail vinyl experiences. FYE basically bought out everybody because by the time vinyl was on the decline, they could consolidate all those companies into one store.
Yeah.
So FYE bought Camelot and Strawberries and Record Town and Coconuts and, every regional chain there was. FYE just goes, screw it. We can get this for pennies on the dollar and we'll sell everything. We'll sell bongs and candy and CDs and T-shirts and posters
toys,
and action
yeah.
figures and everything.
It used to be so fun to go to the record store, though.
That was great. I mean, record stores are still fun.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, record stores are back because vinyl's back. And that was true for 24 months, maybe. And then it kind of plateaued again. But
still going, though.
Yeah, it's still great.
But just going to but when you're young and like you have enough money to buy one album and you're faced with all these options and you have to make that executive decision, like which one of these albums is going to be worth my $15.
Yeah.
And you're trying to figure it out, and then you get one, and then you're just like, I don't particularly like my choice, but there's nothing I can do about it, so I'm just going to force myself to enjoy this album.
Yeah, and I also don't, by the way, I know some people have an unhealthy attachment to vinyl or music, whatever. And I know it's a very subjective thing, but I also don't like the purists who piss on people because they got an album at like Urban Outfitters or
like a reproduction or something.
Yeah, right. If I don't care how you find an album, if you walk into Urban Outfitters and they've got a rack of vinyl there, and it's all these like classic albums, if that's how you found The Clash, better than not finding The Clash.
Right.
I don't care how you got there.
Well, I think
not everybody got to buy Sandinista on vinyl.
Right, and a lot of people get upset because it devalues the originals in their opinion.
Oh, stop!
And it's like
Well, I know what you're saying. No, yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. It devalues.
Well, like Anima from Tool is one of the hardest albums to get because they've never done a reprint of it. They've done it with, I think, pretty much all their other albums.
I got it as a radio station promo.
Well, it's worth a lot.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. But it's like I don't think they've ever done a re-release of that. So like, if you want to buy that, it's like $200 or $300. Probably more now.
It's the album where Maynard discovered the bullhorn. A lot of people are talking about Peaches too. Peaches before Camelot, there was Peaches. I don't remember that. Record Rendezvous. Yeah, again, there were all these regional chains too. See, by the time Poundcake was a kid, though, albums were probably largely done. You had the CD long boxes. It was fun watching people try to steal the long boxes too, because it'd be summertime and they'd be wearing like, one of those Christmas tree coats. You're like, I know what you're doing. Get out of here.
What's a Christmas tree coat?
One of those long, straight, puffy coats that goes down to your knee. Makes you look like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, okay. I get what you're saying.
I don't know. I'm sure there's a name for them. I don't know what they are.
They look like marshmallows.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, so a big, long Canadian goose coat. Like, in shopping for CDs, are you, sir? Yes, I am.
Do you remember the first cassette or first CD you bought?
The first CD I bought, well, buying CDs at the beginning for me was just buying everything I had on cassette, but on CD. So the very first CDs I bought were, because I was replacing some cassettes, I was getting new ones, because Columbia House would switch to CDs.
Yeah.
So then you could get a dozen CDs for like a penny. So my first CDs were this band called Blue Murder, which nobody remembers, but it came from a Whitesnake guy. Bullet Boys. I was at the tail end of my hair band thing. And probably some comedy CDs.
Yeah.
Because I had every comedy cassette. So I was trying to find them on CD.
The first tapes I ever bought with my own money was Bryan Adams, So Far So Good.
Yeah.
I'm probably 10 years old. And then the other one was Soul Asylum.
Oh, hey, yeah. With somebody to shove on it and...
Yeah. What was that album called?
Gravediggers Union?
That wasn't what the album was called, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Soul Asylum album was Let Your Dim Light Shine? Grave Dancers Union, not Grave Diggers Union. Dancers Union. Let Your Dim Light Shine was mid-90s. But I think my first cassette was... And I didn't start buying music until I was like 13 years old, 13, 14 years old. Because before that, my parents were just giving me 8 tracks. Because we had a stereo at home with an 8-track player in it. So Soul Asylum's going back out. They're trying to make it happen again.
Really?
Dave Perner's all fat. Got rid of his dreadlocks. Not dating Winona Ryder anymore. Joe in Philly, what's going on?
Yo, what up, guys?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, so you guys mentioned Sam Goody, and I believe after Sam Goody it was FYE.
Yeah.
But before Sam Goody it was The Wall.
Oh, yeah?
And at least out here it was. But I remember the thing about The Wall is that they had like a lifetime guarantee sticker that you could put on all your CDs. So if it like got ruined or scratched, you could go back and get a new one if they had it in stock still.
Oh, would they say, how can you have your pudding if you don't eat your meat?
No, I didn't know that was a thing in there. But yeah, I mean, when I bought CDs, I was young, but I remember buying like rap singles for the longest time.
Sure.
But before that, like my first albums were like Dave Matthews Band, his second album that came out that was like made him huge, and then I don't know, Oasis was around that same time.
Listen, I was into hardcore rap, like Sir Mix-a-Lot, Return of the Bumposaurus.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I'm talking like Mate.
Yeah, right.
And,
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Juvenile.
Puff Daddy, like his first album, Locks, LOX.
There you go, Locks. Right.
So
Ja Rule, Pain is Love. I got it. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. There's Joe in Philadelphia. I got to take a break. If you want to get a text in here, 35192 to do that. You can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7.
816-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
35192, send me a text. Mary's out today. Was she in Boston tonight?
Yeah, like Boston, at a school out there, like a college.
They have colleges in Boston?
Dude, some of the oldest ones.
Wow. They should really get the word out about that. Who knew Boston was a college town? Hey, if you listen to the show in Boston or anywhere else outside Ohio on the iHeartRadio app, tell me where you do that, and I'll make sure that you on our bureau chief map. Josh is a brand new listener in Tulsa. He's an overnight trucker, so he listens to the show after he's sleeping, or maybe before he's sleeping, just not when he's sleeping. Christian listens in Sharpsville, Pennsylvania. Matt is in Delray Beach, Florida. Darren is a bureau chief in Honolulu. And Christina listens in Las Vegas, Nevada. Thanks, one and all. How are the Indians doing? Anybody keeping an eye on that, by the way?
Not good. Not good. I
not
believe they
good.
are down
12 to
there
nothing.
You go. Last I heard it was 10 to nothing.
In the middle of the 7th. Jesus. Well, it looks like they're going to get swept by the Oakland A's, but the A's are a great team this season. This will be their 67th win. So A's way out in front today. Wonder what kind of crowd they got down there today, too.
I had a friend that was down there, and it looked pretty busy.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, people don't have power, so they're like, let's go to the ballpark. Yeah, let's get a couple of bleacher tickets. We'll be fine. Alan, Johnny from Canton, what Bill said is completely right. I have my dad's vintage Steely Dan Asia album, which is worth about $200. They did a repress, and the worth of the original dropped about $75. Wow. Think about that.
Yep.
Who knew? Kwanzaa Hut also sold dart and billboard accessories and incense. And weed pipes.
Yes, they did. Yes, I remember.
All that stuff. All that stuff.
I was there for the music. I was not a weed smoker in my youth.
You know, people,
nor am I now.
Well, edibles, or just you're off it all completely?
I mean, I haven't. Every once in a while, I have like one of those pens. I have a bunch of edibles that they're just in my freezer.
Yeah,
because I don't like them.
Right.
Anytime I eat an edible, I get too weird. Like I can't handle the high, so I just
really.
Don't.
I prefer it. I've been microdosing a lot lately. I prefer
do
the edibles.
A small amount, but it's just like I don't like the way I feel on it. It makes me too paranoid.
I haven't smoked the flower in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't smoked flower in a long time. And like I have like a little weed hit the pen.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but I rarely even hit that too. Because it just, that doesn't really do it for me. I'm trying to clean up some things too. So like I'm trying to improve my diet. I've pretty much gotten rid of caffeine. I don't think I've had caffeine this week.
Good for you.
Other than like maybe a little bit of Diet Pepsi.
It's one of the hardest things to break.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to eat right.
Lunchtime at Mr. Zubs.
And stay active and get healthy.
Mm-hmm. Good for you.
Yeah, it never takes.
It never takes, is that what you said?
I mean, you've seen me over these years.
Well,
up and down.
Yeah, but I think that's the case for a lot of people.
Right.
A lot of people lament the fact that that's what happens. That's just a natural... It's a natural cycle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for people who aren't like obsessed with every single day, who's got time to measure their macros, for Christ's sake?
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to eat whole foods and kind of go back to the things that I did when I first lost weight.
Well, that's good because you don't want to waste food either. So you should eat the whole food.
Right.
I mean, don't leave half an apple.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna eat the core though, like you.
Yeah, I do eat the core.
Yeah. I can't do it. I've tried it.
Oh, have you tried?
Yeah.
What's objectionable about it?
I don't know. It just feels weird.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like I'm done with an apple, and it's more like when I'm done, when I get to it and it is an apple core, I'm like, well, I'm done with an apple, and then like I throw it away, and I don't want it anymore. It's not appetizing to me.
All right. Hold on. I had to finish my gummy worm.
Poundcake, he eats whole foods. He eats a whole bag of gummy worms during his podcast. Mm-hmm. Do you eat in the current episode of the Poundcake podcast?
I'm sorry, I was on the phone. What was that?
I said, are you eating at all in the current episode of the Poundcake podcast?
No.
There's a new episode up. It's called A Fancy Renovation. Does that imply that your friend Fancy is back on with you?
He's back on with me, and he has a crazy basement, like a basement out of like a 70s porno film.
Like high pile shag and things like that? Is this something that he's done, or that's how it began? That's the before, he's doing the after.
His old house kind of had it all over, and now he just put like most of his weird stuff in the basement. So he has like arcade games, dolls that dance and talk when there's music playing. No, I'm serious.
Why does he have these things?
Because he's just that guy. He's just always been that dude. I don't know why.
So these aren't things from when he was a kid that he kept. These are things he's actively collecting.
He's actively purchased. He purchased this huge piano, and it's not even a piano. It's just the shape of a piano, and it's like 600 pounds, but it's a bar when you open it up.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, good God, man. He's put like a lot of money into this basement. And I was like, I want to see it. And there's lasers, lots of lasers, and just fog machines and zombies and dolls and naked men on the wall. Like, we were down there recording the podcast, and he was watching Bible Man. I'm like, why? He's like, just because.
Who loves lasers? Lots of lasers. Pew, 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 pew.
Bible Man, the old Willie Ames cartoon?
Bible, whatever. I think there's only one. It's not a cartoon. It's a real TV show.
Bible Man.
I don't know what Bible Man is.
I didn't know either, but apparently they have the villain in the TV show is called the Fibbler.
A scripture-quoting superhero teaches children about the good book. Well, it looks like animated.
It's not.
It's not.
And honestly, it just goes against all Christian values because there are no superheroes. Jesus is your superhero.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
That's a false prophet.
Well, they're not worshiping this person.
It's Bible Man.
Right, it's a superhero.
Okay.
Why can't he be a superhero? There's nothing in the Bible that says that, trust me, there are all kinds of things not mentioned in the Bible that people tell you are for their own purposes to make life harder for other people. There is no mention of superheroes in the Bible. So you have carte blanche if you want to be Bible Man.
So I looked this up. Willie Ames plays Bible Man.
Okay, there you go.
And
so I was right. That is Willie Ames.
Yeah.
So it's not a cartoon, though, is what I was saying.
It's not a cartoon. It's live action.
Well, because they did
33 episodes.
They did comic books, and they did real life, and they did cartoons. So I wasn't sure what he was watching. So why did he have Bible Man on?
I don't know. He just has weird stuff like that on all the time. And we were laughing.
Is it an affectation? Like, is he always trying to be a kooky guy?
No, he's not trying. He just is.
Okay.
He just is. The reason why we call him fancy is because he would be the dude to just show up. He's like, oh, I just threw these on. I'm like, you just threw on like a Morpheus-style trench coat and sunglasses.
Right. He's playing around. Like, he's trying to be like a fun guy, but that's...
But see, like, when I just throw something...
He didn't naturally throw that on.
I believe he did. I'm sure that was probably like the only thing he had clean. And he was just like, oh, I guess I'm just going to wear this, tarp to this party.
Willie Ames is no dummy. Willie Ames, people will remember, he was on 8 is Enough. He was Charles in Charge's friend.
Yeah.
Right? He was on Charles in Charge. But he is super Jesus-y, and where there is Jesus, there is money. And he has he's created quite a life for himself with all this Jesus stuff. Because I think I don't know if he created Bible Man. I don't think he did, but he played him. And he's got his own line of
15 years.
Yes, and made good money.
And there still might be more because it doesn't say like ended. It says 1995, and it's just a dash, and there's no end yet. So they might.
The way he looked
it's been
when
a
he was
while.
young.
And he has been married 3 or 4 times, so maybe not super Christian-y, but
modern Christian.
There you go.
Where you pick and choose, and you don't go, well, not all of this stuff. You said Jesus, just some of it.
Hey, Jeff in Hudson. What's going on, Jeff?
Hey, Alan, how's it going?
Good, man.
I'm not calling to talk about the Bible, so just like...
Oh, man.
Sorry, buzzkill. I am calling to say that I lived in Pittsburgh and worked at the Moon Township Camelot Music back in the day by where IKEA is.
Out by the mall.
Yeah, I did it part-time because I worked for a major airline there during the day. That was my day job. And so I did a couple days a week in the evenings just to kill some time. 2 things I remember. One is laser discs. You're talking about lasers.
Oh yeah. We had those. That was the newfangled format when I was managing a Blockbuster Video.
Right, and then they sold them for $1 a piece when they went out of fashion.
Yeah, that's right.
It was classic. The second thing that I remember is all the crazy people coming to stand in line at midnight to buy a record or a tape or a CD of that band that was putting something out on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
It was like insane. I'm like, I have to work here at midnight so you can buy this. Can't you buy it
They're
tomorrow?
those Tuesday releases. I remember because
Yeah.
Tuesday used to be the day when albums dropped.
That's right.
And so like that was always like my favorite day to go to record stores because you had all the new stuff you could check out.
Yeah, I didn't like you kind of people.
But I wasn't there at midnight. I was just there during the regular hours.
No, we were there at midnight to get that Metallica Black album 30 years ago today. Whatever night of the week that was, we were there. I mentioned NRM before. I didn't realize Pittsburgh listeners are telling me that was founded in Pittsburgh. We had them in Chicago, but I didn't realize that it was because I think they had mostly closed by the time I lived there. But okay, hey, thanks, Jeff.
Pittsburgh listeners.
Have a good one, man.
Yeah, you too. What?
Pittsburgh listeners, I'll be in Pittsburgh tonight at Thunderbird Cafe, 8 p.m. with Steve Hofstetter. So
that's
get tickets at billsquire.com.
In Lawrenceville, I believe.
Yeah.
On Butler.
Ooh.
Thunderbird Cafe should be in Lawrenceville, which when I lived there was a friggin' hole, but now it's all hipstered up and they did some stuff with it. So I think the Thunderbird Cafe is part of that. You won't get knifed anymore going into Larryville.
We'll see.
Hey, the night is still young, right? We'll see what happens.
I feel like with my luck, if you say I won't, then I will.
Oh.
Yeah. Or maybe I'll do it I'll knife myself to be like, hey, Alan, I got knifed on my way to Larryville, just like you said I wasn't going to.
Yeah, right. I'll go, that looks like a hesitation mark. That doesn't look like somebody who really got one in on you.
Yeah.
That's right. Hey, Steve, what's going on?
Yeah, I was talking about the edibles. I have some kind of a strange superhuman thing where they don't work on me. I have taken an incredible amount as an experiment, and it has not worked on me. I have maybe a 20% success rate from all the times I've had edibles.
What about does smoking have the same effect or no?
Smoking is the flower has been fine for 25 years. Just a couple of puffs. So I get two explanations from people. Oh, you smoke too much. No, I don't. Just a couple, just do my thing. I'm a very busy guy. I don't sit in the chair. I'm no Joe Rogan, but, I can run a few businesses. I'm busy. I get it done. The flower does it for me. But the edibles, I don't know. I'm a huge fan of Joey Diaz, that comedian.
Yeah.
And he was really big on edibles. I'm sure Bill is familiar, and probably Alan too. So I did the 1,000 milligram challenge. And I swear to goodness, it barely gave me a little permagran and giggles for a few hours.
There's a 1,000 milligram challenge?
Well, that's what I call it. I've seen Joey do it on his podcast.
Well, he's a huge guy too.
But he's also like a guy that takes edibles all the time, and like he loves doing that.
Huh.
Right. So I did 1,000 like I had seen him do. If you go on YouTube, there's actually a hilarious video of all his guests that have gone overboard and had to leave the show in the middle of the podcast. It's pretty funny. You could probably find it easily on YouTube. But so for whatever reason, I don't get it. They have never worked on me really. So I've given them up because I'm more worried about the sugar intake than all the THC.
Right. He's like, I got.
You're old.
It's like I got diabetes from all these edibles.
Yeah.
Right.
No kidding, man. I tried legit stuff from California, sealed, barcode, everything. Didn't work. So
well, it's time to move on to heroin.
No, oh my God. No. All right. And hey, Bill, by the way.
Yes.
If you should ever, I know, you've been in comedy for 15 years or so, but if you should ever switch careers, you should become a lawyer so you can be Bill Esquire, Scott Squire, Esquire.
I wouldn't be that quite that many, but yeah, I see where you're going with it.
That'd be a lot of.
I'd be the worst lawyer ever, though.
Your Honor, there's a lot of paperwork involved with this motion, so I'm just not going to do it. And
Smoke weed every day.
All right, thank you, Steve. I appreciate it.
My brother's a lawyer, and he reads so much.
Sure.
Like, he's just it's all paperwork.
If you wanted to be a lawyer, you would have been a lawyer.
Yeah. No, don't want to.
Right. Hey, Brian.
Alan.
What's going on, man?
Hey, I got to call you every couple of years just to remind you to stop bashing Christians. I know there's a lot of bad examples of Christians, but why is there counterfeit money?
Well, those are the people I'm bashing.
I know, but you're.
What's the problem? If I'm bashing the bad examples, what's the problem?
Well, let my people go. You used to play that after I talked to you. Don't throw the baby out with the bath water, right?
I'm not. I'm throwing out the bathwater.
Well, I'm sorry you were raised Catholic. If I was raised Catholic, that's enough to make a buzzard cake. I understand that.
Well, it's all the same, Brian. I mean, it's all the same.
Well, no,
it is.
Well, if you study the Bible, and especially the New Testament, like you would any other book.
Yeah, we've done that.
We've done it. I did 12 years of Catholic school. I know it inside and out. I probably know it better than you do, Brian.
Well, you went to Catholic school, right? They teach you something entirely.
It's all the same. Religions. All religions are wrong in the same way. And they value faith over reason. They're all wrong in the exact same way.
The only thing wrong with religion, Christianity, or otherwise, is we won't follow it, and you live like pigs. It's terrible.
Oh, Brian, do whatever you want. I hope that you live the best life you can. It's all made up.
Well, God gave us free will. I know you don't believe in hell. Hell to me would be having to listen to you. Bashing everybody all the time. Like Homer Simpson.
Brian, I don't know why you're taking it so personally. I don't bash everyone all the time. That's statistically impossible.
There's nothing I'm going to say that's going to change your mind.
That's not true.
You'll say that.
Neither one of us know that, Brian. Neither one of us know that.
I would sit right down with you and drink beer and smoke a patty, and we'd be the best friends in the world.
I can tell, Brian, though. I can tell by the way that you talk over me that you're not really interested in having a conversation.
No. Well, not on the radio.
Well, that's where we are right now. That's where you called me.
Well, do you want to? We're not going to parse Greek adverbs or whatever. The whole reason I called, take it easy on people that are Christians. They're doing the best they can, just like Muslims.
Stop, Brian. I make fun. Listen, what did I just tell you? It's not. I was raised Catholic, but that's got nothing to do with it. All religions are wrong in the exact same way. I'll make fun of everybody. That's why they call them people of faith, right? If you value faith over reason, that's fine. The fact that God, according to you, talked to some Bronze Age illiterate and we're still clinging to it like it has any current relevance whatsoever boggles the mind. But you do you.
Okay, that's fine. If we weren't created by God, we wouldn't be having a conversation right now. How do you think you got here, Alan?
Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory, Brian.
Oh, come on. You believe that, Hokum?
Oh, science? Yeah, I do believe. I believe science. I don't believe that a guy in the sky made everything.
Well, it's a lot more reasonable than...
It's not, Brian. It's a lot more reasonable that an invisible man created the universe. There is no reason in religion.
Listen, Alien,
it's faith over reason. Like I just said, it's not about reason.
We all came out of nothing.
You can't cop to reason if you're based in faith.
Okay, reason.
Okay, anyway, Brian, I look forward to talking to you in another 2 years, okay?
Make it 3.
I look forward to screaming over you in another 2 years. Thank you. Why are you calling me if you're going to talk over me the whole time? Religion gives way to philosophy, just like alchemy ends and chemistry begins. People used to think that you could make gold out of rocks. And then astrology ends and astronomy begins. That's where it gives over to reason. It's a lot more reasonable than an invisible... Listen, believe whatever you want. I'm not telling you to not believe whatever you want. I mean,
I think he's looking for a way out. He just doesn't know how to go about it.
Well, and this guy called me on the after hours line, and he's like, because we were talking about scientists who believe in God, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, they have figured out for themselves. And somebody called me in the after hours line. They were like, religion and science aren't opposites. I'm like, they're mutually incompatible. However you square it in your own mind, that's all it is. You're squaring it in your own mind. But they are mutually incompatible. And if you want to be a person of faith, that's okay, but that's why you're called a person of faith. Because it's not based in you value faith over reason. That's okay. It's not my thing. But, Brian, he's whatever. He wants to believe whatever else. That's good for you.
Right, and there's a lot of people that take advantage of people because they know they are Christian. They go,
and those are the,
that's what people were talking about.
That's right. Those are the bad seeds that we're talking about.
We're not attacking you, Brian. We're talking about the bad people. But then you take offense to it. Makes me think that he's trying to get a Bible Man reboot going.
Yeah. I mean, it's science is a study of the natural world, okay? And that developed without us in mind. It developed fully without us in mind. So if you believe in intelligent design or a creator or whatever, there are many, many universes. They go, well, this world couldn't have been created on its own. Nature couldn't have. It's like a poker hand, right? If you deal a huge number of poker hands, you're going to get one that's perfect or close to perfect. You're just going to. And there are so many universes. One of them's going to end up like this one, where there's people walking around. It's just math. It becomes much more probable the more hands you're dealt. Anyway, I digress. I got a break. I'm going to have those Star Set tickets for you. Hey, Stars! Where do they come from? Star Set is from Columbus, Ohio. They're going back out on the road with a couple other bands. They're going to do December 18th at the House of Blues. If you want to go to that show, I'll hook you up shortly. If you want to text here, 35192, and we'll be back.
for music, radio, and podcasts. All in one.
Thousands of free playlists are being created now by people just like you on the free iHeart app. At iHeart, we think every mood and activity deserves a playlist, so we made it totally free for you to start creating your very own. Working out, chilling out, or maybe you're getting ready for tailgate season. We made it super easy. Start by searching for a song, or simply add a song you hear streaming on your favorite station like this one directly into a playlist, and we'll help with the other songs to finish it. Only on the free iHeart app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
Get you a couple of tickets here to see Starset, originally from Columbus. They're going out with The Word Alive and All Good Things. Saturday, December 18th. The whole thing's going to go down at the House of Blues, downtown, livenation.com. Online for any tickets, details, whatever else you need. These 2 tickets here, though, for you. Caller 10, 2 for Starset and company right before Christmas. 1 week prior, to be exact. So good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
It's just too bad.
The Alan Cox Show.
Something like this comes along.
It's never too late to ruin your day.
Totally ruins it all.
100.7 WMMS.
Boy, the Indians, they're just getting bent over by the A's. 16-0 in the top of the 9th. So they will get swept by the Oakland A's, but then they will hit the road and start up against the Detroit Tigers tomorrow at Comerica Park. So I think 7-10 tomorrow night is when they'll get that weekend series going. And we'll go on from there. We only have 8 weeks of baseball remaining. So there's still plenty of time for you to get yourself to a ball game at Progressive Field. They'll be back in town next weekend to play the Angels of Anaheim, play the Texas Rangers, they'll play the Red Sox, they'll play the Royals. Each one of these games, here's a little factoid for you, each one of these games they'll be playing another team from another spot.
How innovative.
In the United States. So think about that, haters. So, they scored again. 17-0 in the... Isn't there a mercy rule in Major League Baseball?
There is not.
Oh, come on. Well, the A's are a good team. Congrats to them.
Well, I said I had a friend down there, and I told her that she's bad luck.
You what?
Well, she's at the game, and they're losing 17-0. Bad
luck.
Oh,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Bad luck indeed. Hey, Trucker Stone, what's going on?
Hey, Alan. Here's something I haven't heard in a while. Hate the show.
Hey, thank you, sir. Hey, Truck Driver Appreciation Week is coming up in September.
Yes, the whole month, actually, the whole month.
Oh, it is, the whole month.
Yes. Hey, I just want to put my 2 cents in on religion talk real quick. One of the reasons I listen to you is because you're definitely a man of reason. That's why I listen to you. One thing is, I can't understand these jacknuts that want to say that science was created by God, and without that, science wouldn't exist, which makes absolutely no sense to me.
Well, try looking for consistency in religion. Again, people can believe whatever they want to believe, but this whole both sides thing, people will be like, well, faith and science is the same thing. No, faith is required for things that can't be proven. That's why it's called faith. So, no, it's not the same. But, I think, I don't know. Believe whatever you want to believe. Again, I've said the same thing the whole time. As long as you're not trying to make life difficult for other people, I don't care what you do or what you believe. But don't try to convince me. Huh?
Isn't that rule number 1 on your list? Don't make your job harder.
Oh, that one. I don't help anybody was number 1 on the.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Hey, thank you, Stone.
You're welcome.
All right, there you go. There is Trucker Stone, who's out there doing God knows what and trying to get this.
I imagine trucking.
Trying to get this great nation back on its feet in the trucking capacity.
Jesus is a friend of mine. Jesus is my friend. Jesus is a friend of mine. I have a friend in Jesus. Jesus is a friend of mine. Jesus is my friend. Jesus is a friend of mine. He taught me how to live my life as it should be. He taught me how to turn my cheek when people laugh at me. I've had friends before, and I can tell you that he's one who will never leave you flat.
Speaking of laughing, I can't. I understand that the title, or the headline rather, is provocative, but I really can't. I can't laugh about the guys that died in the manure pit. Did you see that story?
Crappy way to go.
You son of a bitch.
Taught me how to praise my God and still play rock and roll.
This is in Mercer County. That's not far away, right? Mercer County? Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's closer to the Indiana border because they took one of the guys to Fort Wayne. Ever told you about the Fox Island Nature Preserve, Bill?
Oh, God.
In Fort Wayne, Indiana? Have I ever told you about Wakarusa, Indiana?
Yeah, you told me about
Their
that.
claim to fame was a cow, Bill. A cow by the name of... 3 brothers all died when they got trapped in a manure pit. And, you know, there's a lot of fumes down there that can kill you. And that's what happened. And so many people have sent me this story because I get it. Haha, these guys, you know, died in a manure pit. But man, it's awful. They were working. They were trying to figure out some kind of way to, I assume something was clogged. And all 3 brothers got down in there. And then they got trapped in the manure pit. They're just trying to work the farm. Christ, I mean, you know.
It's simple work.
It's a livestock farm. Brad Woobker, Todd Woobker, and Gary Woobker, all in their mid to late 30s, died at hospitals after the rescue crews found them underwater in a manure pit.
Oh.
Because they passed out and then got submerged. So they needed a dive team to pull them out. You know?
What is a manure? Why is there a manure pit?
It's like runoff from the livestock, right? It just collects.
It's like a big pit?
Yeah, as I understand it.
Ooh.
They were full-time farmers who operated this farm, and all 3 of them died because it's methane, it's carbon monoxide, it's hydrogen sulfide. It's like all these things that these manure pits kick off. So at the very least, you're going to get a headache, you're going to get dizzy. These guys passed out. All 3 of them, brothers.
That sucks.
Died from secondary asphyxiation to a farm accident. Oof, man. They lost, and you know, they go, oh, they lost their lives doing what they loved. Man, not that.
No, they didn't love
They
the
didn't
manure
love
part.
doing that. That's something you get, your dad did it, so you did it. Nobody's like, I want to work the manure pit.
That's not how you want to go.
No, I can't. I mean, no, it's not a way to go.
And like, I imagine they were like running the farm at this point. Like it was their farm. So now you not only lost all your brothers, you also lost the people that were taking care of the whole business.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's other like farm hands and stuff like that, but these guys are probably not, you know, they're probably doing a lot to keep that farm running.
They were trying to fix a manure pump, whatever that is, somebody said. Well, probably to pump it somewhere else. I don't know. You know, there's no way to go. There's no way to go.
I sent you video of the incident.
Oh, they got live audio of it. Oh, no. Was this from the responding EMTs? Probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What is it?
The bog of eternal stench.
I never smelled anything like it. It's like
Oh, it doesn't matter what I it's like.
It would have been so fun to be the Foley artists making those noises for
Right.
the bog of eternal stench. And of course, in the film Labyrinth, which is very difficult to watch and not stare at Jennifer Connelly. That's a tough movie because she was 16 years old. I think it might have been her first, if not her first role, her first big role. And Jennifer Connelly was a developed young lady. And so watching that movie, you're going, focus on the puppets, focus on Bowie, focus on... Because remember the movie she did called Career Opportunities?
Yes.
Of course you do.
Where she's riding the horse?
Of course you do. Yes. Now, she was 18, I think, at that point.
Well,
But she was only 16 in Labyrinth.
Here's how I reconcile it. When I watched that movie, originally, I was much younger than her.
True.
So I transport myself back to that young Bill Squire mindset and go, oh, I have a crush on this older lady. Because she's still older than me. That's just she's younger.
She was my age.
Yeah.
I was 15 when that came out. So I was like, oh, this would be like a girl I went to high school with.
Right.
So obviously I'm gonna ogle her. Can't do that now. And the reason
But it's also not like a very revealing movie. It's not like she's running around in like a thong bikini.
No,
or anything
but
like
she
that.
very clearly had a rack.
Yeah.
And the reason that this is even an issue is because Labyrinth is being put back into theaters for its 35th anniversary. That movie came out in 1986. So they're putting it back in theaters in September. And I asked my wife, do you think our daughter is too young to watch this? I can't figure out. My wife loves Labyrinth. When our daughter was like less than a year old, whatever that first Halloween was, my wife dressed up as David Bowie and put our baby in this white and red striped thing.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Right? Like the
That
baby
was
in the
a
movie.
great
She did
costume.
fantastic costume. She had the Bowie wig and the whole thing. So that was like the first. So she loves that movie. But I'm wondering, because I haven't seen it in forever, I can't remember if a 5-year-old would get freaked out by Labyrinth.
I think it's just on the edge of scary, but she might. I feel like, how does she deal with scary like adult situations like that? Because it's very cartoony.
Yeah, that's what I
think, and it's very puppety. And I think watching it with you and Gwen, I think she'll probably be fine.
Well, we might take her.
I think it's a fun one though.
But if
I
you,
love that movie. My kids love that movie.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
They are dropping Labyrinth back in theaters, FYI. If you like that movie, the 35th anniversary, they're dropping it the 12th, 13th, and 15th of September. It's a Sunday, Monday, Wednesday. They're going to show it at Crocker Park, South Park Mall, and Valley View right out here. So those are the three, if you want to look into that. The Bog of Eternal Stench.
Help!
Hold on.
What? Did you have to go and do a thing like that?
I guess they did put her in really blousy, loose shirts in that movie. But there are a couple scenes where she's like in a ball gown or something, right?
Yeah, but again, I don't think it's like very revealing.
Yeah.
I don't think it had like immense cleavage or anything like that.
I guess more than that is the fact that you will also recall that they gave David Bowie a huge codpiece in that film, too.
That is way more prominent.
That's become the meme. Yeah.
That and then him dancing around with that crystal ball thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen someone use one of those in real life?
A crystal ball?
Well, like it's a weighted ball that like you can do all these weird tricks with.
I've seen them in the circus. I haven't seen anybody.
There was a
play
guy.
with them.
Yeah, it was at like a Rockin' on the River down in Cuyahoga Falls. This is probably 10 years ago, maybe longer. And there was a guy playing with one of those, and I was just like, "Ooh, now sing Dance Magic Dance." But he was real good. Like he was like sliding up his shoulders and down on his hand and like doing all these wild tricks.
Huh.
But it's very weird to watch in person.
Interesting. No, I don't think that I've seen that.
Do you know someone who owns like a crystal ball to like make predictions?
Alan, the farmers are checking in here. I used to work a couple of milk farms. The manure is collected in pits and then used to spray the fields to fertilize them. So it's pumped from the pit into the spreader. They blend it up until it's nice and smooth, and then they spray it on the crops as fertilizer.
You don't want chunky manure.
You really don't want that. No.
Are you a chunky manure guy
or smooth?
Yeah.
I liked horse manure.
You did?
Yeah.
You said you liked horse manure.
Yeah. You know, about how when you break it down, it's really a very positive thing. You know, you have a newer with a ma in front of it. Manure. It's not bad.
And it was around this point that she mentioned the boyfriend.
Yeah. Oh, you think because of what I said about the manure? I was just saying how it takes a negative thing and puts a positive spin on it.
I'm just saying there's a chance she may not have been enamored with your thoughts and feelings on manure.
It's like a newer with a ma in front of it. It's pretty good. Alan, I worked the Tribe game. Holy balls, was it hot and a massacre. What a waste. Well, for my money, it's never a waste when you spend a day at a ballpark. Karen is one of our listeners in Huntsville, Alabama, and she checked in too and said it feels like the gates of hell down there in Alabama. Not only that, because it's super hot and you're surrounded by super spreaders. That's the fun part of Alabama. Hey, Alan, great name. What's going on?
Yeah, how you doing?
How are you?
Good. Hey, the Labyrinth, you said you couldn't keep your eyes off of Jennifer Connelly, which she is good looking. I mean, I'm a straight male, but I couldn't keep my eyes off of David Bowie's Codpiece because that thing was 3D on a 2D screen.
Yeah. Right, yes. Didn't mention that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so go for the codpiece, stay for the thinly veiled breasts. Yeah, right. The Connelly. Okay, thank you. Jennifer Connelly, she has had quite a career. She's in, whatchamacallit? She's in that, anybody see Alita Battle Angel? I went to go see that by myself.
I saw that.
Nobody else. She was like the bad guy in that, I think.
Right.
She was in, of course, Requiem for a Dream.
That's the one. That's
Ass
where you
to
get to
ass.
see the boobies, right? Which one? Wait, there's one where I think she takes him out.
She takes him out in I think, I don't know. She's married to Paul Bettany. She's married to The Vision.
Oh, nice.
They've been married for a long time.
You know, it's a movie where she's got some great cleavage.
What's that?
The Rocketeer.
Oh, right.
That's a movie that never really made it to the mainstream, but I loved it as a kid, and I think it's on Disney Plus now. She looks real good in that movie.
Yeah,
That's
The
a fun movie,
Rocketeer.
too.
That is a good movie.
I liked it.
She was in Dark City. Do you remember that? I
Oh,
love
yeah,
Dark City,
with
and nobody. That was another
was
one
that
nobody
Kiefer
saw.
Sutherland?
Kiefer Sutherland was
Yeah.
in that. Yeah,
That was like the Matrix Part 1, basically.
Kind of, yes.
Like style-wise. They're
Yep.
like, what if we made a Dark City, but it's about computers?
Yep. And she was going to be in the. She was in the first Hulk movie. She was Betty Ross in the first Hulk.
Oh, that's right.
The one they made with Eric Bana.
Eric Bana, the Ang Lee one.
Yeah.
It was such a weird movie.
Yeah.
The big poodle, like the mutant poodles.
Yes. Jennifer Connelly's lovely.
Perfect Mind or a Beautiful Mind.
Yeah, she was in A Beautiful Mind. She was naked in Mulholland Falls, I think. If you remember that movie, David Lynch.
I feel like that's one. I feel like never actually saw the movie.
Oh, yeah?
It was one of those things where it was like Mr. Skin back in the day.
Yeah. The first thing I saw Naomi Watts in was Mulholland Falls. Okay, I've got a break. If you are on hold, I'll get you on the way back. If you want to send a text, 35192 to do that, and you can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show.
First line, the text. It's all there. Thank you to Jebediah McClorsky, who's helping out as well. Jebediah? Or is it Daiha?
I think it's Daiha.
Jebediah McClorsky is helping out today. Boy, I am not looking forward to going home today with no power. It's 94 degrees out. And a lot of us are in the same boat.
I'm sure
94 degrees and no power in the house.
I'm sure any of the customers would be happy to have you stay with them for tonight.
You know what? Let's
make it happen.
One of our salespeople is very sweet, and she doesn't live far from where I live, and she goes, seriously, I go, it's going to be fine, but thank you, I appreciate it.
90 degrees, dude, it's not going to be fine. It's going to be miserable.
Yeah, I know, it's going to suck, but, maybe I'll stay at a hotel. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Not a motel?
Well, he's going to be near his home, so it's a hotel.
Yeah. Maybe that'd be no, I've got a dog, though.
There's places you can go with dogs.
Are there dog-friendly hotels around here?
Yes, there are.
Are there?
Yeah. Because you might have to pay like a fee for
a premium?
Yeah, it's like $40 or something.
Oh, okay.
Depending on the place.
All right. Oh, the Hyatt right over there, Crocker Park. Beautiful. All right, well, maybe we'll do that then. Well, I just stay
yourself a little night.
Why don't you just stay at your place, Poundcake?
You can stay at my place.
That wasn't what you were supposed to say. Called my bluff.
Yeah, I would totally. My roommate's never here anyway, so
it'd be just you and me.
I got AC.
Please go stay at Poundcakes.
I got video
games.
games.
Please go stay at Poundcakes.
Oh, you're gonna have AC.
You're
gonna, I got AC. You're gonna have double the AC. I'm not gonna stay.
Go stay at
No,
Poundcakes.
come on.
Come on.
I have a
for
dog.
The show.
No.
Bring her.
You can take the dog. He
not
lives
doing
in a
that.
dirty old house.
Yeah.
Dirty old house.
Looks like it needs a power wash on the outside, but it's nice on the inside.
Well, why don't you power wash it?
It's not my job. That's not my job to do that.
Oh, because you rent the place?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I'm not about to add any
Well, why?
What? Go ahead.
Do the people downstairs own it?
No. We're
Why
all
don't you-
tenants.
You're all tenants. Okay. Hit up the management company. Go, hey.
I think
If I power wash the house, how about you knock off a couple $100 off the rent next month?
Probably would, but I don't have access to a power washer.
You can rent one.
Okay.
Do you have one he could
And
borrow?
I
Maybe
do.
you can take it
Ooh,
over
dude,
there.
shirtless.
And after the show today, you guys
Power
can
wash.
wash
Yeah.
his house.
Oh, no,
and then you guys
Alan,
can have
I'm
dinner.
all wet.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And then you stay the night at Poundcakes.
Let me get into some dry clothes.
Yeah, everyone except for Mary. But Bill stayed the night with you before. You guys camped together. When's my turn?
When did Bill stay with me?
No, I'm saying you guys camped together. You
Oh
guys
God,
stayed
it was 100 years ago. Yeah, but we weren't in the
Still
same.
counts.
We're in the same tent.
By that logic, we all stayed to get the night at in Jamaica.
Right.
I didn't realize you guys were.
You've
in the
already
same tent.
stayed with me in Jamaica.
Yeah, we didn't stay in the same tent.
You thought Bill and I were in the same tent? You thought it was me, Gwen, and Bill.
Some of these tents are like the size of mansions now, so yes, I thought you guys were all in the same tent.
No, we had a two-person tent.
Oh, lame.
That's the problem with the big tents is it invites people in.
Yes, it's fun.
I notice you're not doing that. You don't like camping. How do you know what's fun? You hate being outside. You're team inside.
Yes, but all my white friends are team outside, and they get big tents because they invite people. But
that's not you.
We smoke weed in the tent. I go with them. They force me.
They force him.
They do. I was telling the story not too long ago.
I know you were. They force you to do weed in the tent?
Not to camp. I was ill prepared.
Yeah.
4th of July, what was it, like 2015, right before I got hired on the show? Mm-hmm. My black ass out there at Nelson Legends walking around in flip-flops. And it's raining.
Black people do camp.
I know.
Maybe not in such large numbers. It is some white people stuff.
I wasn't prepared. I just wasn't prepared. And they were like, you got to come. I'm like, it's going to be late by the time I get off. Well, that's why we're staying overnight. I'm like, oh. But I went.
They talk like that? Is that how they asked you?
That's exactly how they talk. You don't know my friends, Alan.
No, I don't. And I don't want to if that's how they talk.
That's why we're staying
You gotta
overnight.
come over. You gotta see the baby.
So you're just not going to hit the blunt? Like, I'm just going to pass it to you and you're just going to pass it around? You're not going to take a hit? I'm like, all right, I'll take a hit.
Wow. So you had to drive out
easy to get them to do things.
You had to drive out to God knows where just to.
I had never been to Nelson Ledges before.
But that's a haul.
I am
I would
aware.
think that I would. Well,
That's how much I love my friends.
All I'm saying is, I think that you said they forced you, so it wasn't because you loved them so much. But I would think that the distance alone would be enough for you to demur and go, no, guys, I'm not driving out there.
I felt real lonely because, it was the 4th of July. Everyone else was partying, and I was in the West Bank of the Flats. I was at Nautica doing an event in promotions, and I was with Dan at the time. So he was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing anything either. Don't feel bad." And I was like, I was like, I really want to do something. And my friends were like, dude, come out to Nelson Ledges. We're having fireworks. There's going to be a rave. I'm like, how far away is that? They're like, oh, well, it's
a rave. Was this the Juggalo? Was this a gathering?
It's 4th of July. People were literally blowing.
4th of July. Yeah.
People were blowing fire and shooting off fireworks, and there was a bunch of parties. And they were like, come on out there. I said, where is it? They said, it's Hiram or Newton Falls.
Yeah, it's way out there.
And I said, I have no idea where either of those places are. And they're like, well, look it up. And I looked it up, and I put it in.
Oh, is this when you were, dodging drunk people and...
Probably.
Yeah.
I've dodged drunk people a number of times. So you have to be more specific than that.
Well, no, you were telling the story one time, I thought, about, going out there, not knowing where anybody was, and,
Yes, that's exactly... Yeah, that was it. Because it was dark, everyone was drunk, and the lady at the gate, she was like, are you setting up? I'm like, no, I don't have to pay for a lot. I'm just paying for a person. She's like, they're here? I said, yeah. I have to go find their lot. She said, good luck finding them in the dark. She laughed at me. She said, good luck finding them in the dark. And then once I called, of course, no one picks up. I go all the way out there. I called people 12 times back to back.
That's an hour drive.
And this is from downtown Cleveland. So, yes,
Jesus.
In the dark.
Did you at least get some disco pizza when you were out there?
No, I was just at the campground, and that is literally it. I had no overnight clothes. I didn't bring a bag because it was a spur of the moment thing. So I'm out there.
Oh, you left a ridiculous spur of the moment thing.
You left, yes.
I left exactly like Dan packed up all the stuff for promotion, so I didn't even head back to the station. I had my car, and then I just drove.
Oh, well, that's fine. He's flying by the seat of his pants. He was having fun.
Yeah. Right. Didn't bring a toothbrush. Didn't bring anything.
Hey, Chris.
Yes.
What's up, Chris?
How are you guys?
Good, man.
Good. I got a couple things. First thing, for Cody, the crystal ball, that's nothing, bro. Don't trust in a crystal ball. It's going to give you nothing. All right?
Okay.
Number two, for Bill, I understand you're doing a promotion this weekend, Saturday.
Yes.
And I haven't been listening today or the last day or so, but I understand you're going to be out in Wadsworth on Saturday.
Correct.
Down with Tailgaters.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Very good. Sounds good.
There. What time, Bill? So
6 p.m.
There you go, 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
There you go.
I told Cody, I'm like, Alan tells Mary all the time, you've got to promote. If you're going to do this, promote. Right? So that's what
he has been promoting it. Yes,
that's right. They run ads, promoting
promos and ads, and right. Well, okay. Well, then be there, or be square, Chris.
I will be there.
All right, there you go.
Sounds like a good job. And
mention the word swing when you come by.
Mention the word swing when you come by.
Prize for you.
There you go.
It's good to be Bill Squire. It always feels right when he's in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm. Another one of these anti-vax right-wing radio hosts died from COVID. I'd never heard of the guy before, but he was a radio guy for a long time, and then I guess they put him on one of those far-right cable channels. This guy named Dick Farrell, who his friends referred to as the other Rush Limbaugh, as if we needed one of those. I think Rush Limbaugh was the other Rush Limbaugh. None of these guys actually believe this stuff, but he called Dick Farrell was 65 years old, and he would call Dr. Anthony Fauci a power-tripping, lying freak, and said that no one should get the coronavirus vaccine. When he got COVID, it went to the hospital for 3 weeks. Of course, he, say it with me, changed his tune and urged friends to get vaccinated.
Now,
but all up until then, he had been on television and the radio saying,
on the deathbed. That's when they change their tune. Why not?
It doesn't always happen like that, though. I've been seeing interviews of people, of these guys who get COVID. They're like, I rather go through this than put something in my body that I don't know. And the interviewer's like, you would still not get the vaccine? He's like, I will not get the vaccine. And he's like, will not get the vaccine. No.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson, he's a quarterback for the Ravens. He's had COVID twice and had to miss games and miss practices, and still was like, we'll see about the
Well, he gets
vaccine.
paid, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I mean,
if
you're trying to help your team,
if they were,
you want to be available.
But also, if they were prorating his salary, maybe he'd feel differently about it. He's not losing anything. Still getting paid.
I mean,
does he care? Did you see that dude? This dude went hella viral. I'm going to borrow from Poundcake there. This guy, Jason Arena is his name. He's a guy in Mooresville, North Carolina. He's 45, and he did a TikTok that went crazy viral. Like a few million people watched it. He was talking about his wife has stage 4 breast cancer, and she was discharged from the hospital because they needed to make room for COVID patients. She was supposed to have this procedure. She'd been back and forth to the hospital. And he said, we went in one day because she was supposed to have this procedure that was part of her treatment. And they said, we have to discharge you because we need the hospital beds for COVID patients.
99% of everybody that's in the hospital with COVID right now is unvaccinated, okay? If you really fucking believe that COVID's not real, and you really believe that's not a big deal, and you really believe that that you don't need to get the vaccine, that is your fucking right, okay? I'm not going to argue with you about that. What I am going to argue with about is you running to the fucking hospital once you get the virus. If you don't trust the medical field to prevent you from getting it, why do you trust them to cure you from it? If you really believe that COVID's not a big deal and it's not this, that, the other, and you don't get the vaccine because of, stick to your fucking guns and keep your motherfucking ass at home. Stop running to the hospital, putting everybody else at fucking risk, and in turn, the collateral damages. People like my wife who actually need medical fucking help for a chronic fucking disease get kicked out of the hospital because your dumb ass is too stupid to go get a fucking vaccine shot. Keep your ass at home. If you really believe COVID's not a big deal, prove it.
He makes good points. He makes them in a very emphatic way. And I like it a lot.
Yeah. Hey, put your money where your mouth is. You don't think it's a big deal if you get sick? Stay home. It's the flip side of last year.
Right.
At the height of this, and they were like, stay home. Don't expose yourself to people. Now they're like, hey, stay home. You get sick? Stay home. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy, he's only got a few videos on his TikTok, but a lot of people watch that video from him. But yeah, this right-wing radio guy, he was telling people it's all made up. And again, you're not going to convince me that these people believe this. They're just taking their chances. They're just rolling the dice. CNN was walking around at some symposium that the Pillow guy was putting on, and they talked to this dude who didn't even believe that Trump got the vaccine. They're like, you don't want to... And it's this big fat guy with a beard, and the CNN reporters trying to delicately tell him, well, you look like someone who would be in a high-risk group. And the guy's like, well, we all have a natural immune system. Why is it always the unhealthiest people that feel 100% solid in their immune system? And they were like, well, Trump got it. I mean, you're a big Trump guy. Trump got it. He's like, who said that? I don't believe he got it. He did that because everybody was pressuring him. You know how Trump responds to pressure by acquiescing?
Right, yeah.
Well known that when people pressure him, he goes, okay, I'll do it.
All right, I'll get the vaccine. I'll go camping with you. I won't even get a toothbrush.
That's right. I'm not going to go home and pack a backpack full of clothes. I'm not going to get some fresh skivvies. Nothing. So, yeah, this radio guy, I mean, 65, that's not old.
But it's old.
It's old, you know. So he dies and his friends are on Facebook. It was just so unexpected. Was it?
But
was it unexpected?
Was it?
You know. So he's like, all these people on their deathbed, I wish I'd gotten the vaccine. Yeah, well, you didn't. That's why I was reading about these parents who lost a teenage son, which really, really sucks. But he was unvaccinated. He's a football player. And this was in Georgia. 17-year-old Tyler Ferry. And the article I was reading was about how shocked the parents were at how the doctors treated their son. That the doctors seemed like they didn't care And the doctors, that's that they didn't care. They were telling the woman, you were supposed to get him vaccinated. What have we been telling you for almost 2 years? When there's a vaccine, get the vaccine. It's not that we don't care. This sucks. But doctors are pulling their goddamn hair out. And these parents are like, we couldn't believe how their bedside manner. Like, what do they have to tell you? Yeah, it sucks. It was your son. He was a teenager. But they're like, we told you all this.
Right, and especially with such a tragic moment like that, to be focusing on like, well, yes, it was upsetting that our son died, but the doctors were so mean. It's like, your son died? Like, yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the mean doctors. Like, okay, that's weird.
The doctors just said, this is COVID. This is what we've been seeing for over a year and a half.
Yeah.
And that's what made the mom so upset and offended, because they weren't tripping over themselves to help this unvaccinated family. And so the mom pivots to, do I know that the vaccine would have helped? I don't know. So it's like, if you don't know, why are you mad at the doctor? It absolutely sucks that you lost your teenage son. But clearly people can't be convinced. So what do you think what's the doctor going to say to you? And the doctor could have been dismissive, because a lot of these doctors
are tired. They're at their wits' end with these people. Right. So I get why they're dismissive, because
and they're ashamed of it too. There was that doctor a couple of weeks ago who was like, I hate that that's my reaction, because I'm there to help people and that's my job. You know, I'm still a doctor. I hate that that's my reaction, but in my mind, that's my reaction.
But you have a friend that said that's a doctor, and you said that person just looks at its clients as a piece of meat. Like, you're going to mess up, you're going to do wrong, and then you're going to be back here, and I'm going to fix you up.
Well, that's not COVID. I mean, he's been a doctor for a long time. He's an osteopath or something. He's right, but he interned. That was the beginning of his career. He was an intern in an emergency room, and his point was,
people are stupid.
Well, he goes, you'll see ridiculous injuries, and he goes, and some people, you're going to see again, because they're just dopes. So, yeah, today they come in with a pole through their head, and you patch them up, you know.
A pole through
Now, again, my friend, even before he was a doctor, he's not like a, you know, he makes me look warm and fuzzy. So it's like, you know, his bedside manner, whatever's lacking there, probably makes him an amazing physician, because he's just, you know, he's working on people and patching them up and getting them out there or whatever. But this family in Georgia, obviously they're grieving, but this whole, like, the doctors just didn't seem to care. Well, first of all, they have to kick out cancer patients because the beds are full. So what about those people? Like that guy's point in that video.
Did we talk about on the show about how the one guy, I think he said he left the hospital bed and he stayed there for, I think it was like 3 months or something like that, and it was a $4 million hospital bill?
No, I don't know about that.
I saw that.
No,
we didn't talk about it.
We didn't talk about it, but I definitely saw that story.
$4 million, because at that point, I'm just like, screw it. Like, add it to my tab. I'm not paying anything. No one's ever gonna, unless you are a person of means, which I don't.
At that point, I'm taking a breathing machine with me.
Right.
I'm paying $4 million.
$4 million for
I'm taking the bed. I want an EKG machine.
Yeah.
I'm taking souvenirs, man.
I just don't understand.
Guys, I'm going to recreate this hospital room in my own house.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not saying have free health care, but I think there should be a cap. Like, I think it should be catered to your income. Like, I'm not saying some people can afford, you know, a $4 million hospital stay. And if they
not
can afford,
many, though.
Listen, that's why the system's broken.
I just don't understand.
That's what people are talking about when they say we need to change the healthcare system in this country. That's one of myriad stories that people can tell. Hey, Tom.
Yes.
Tommy, what's up?
Yeah, I've been listening to your show, and, you know, in past days, it seems as though, you know, that people, including, it seems like out of your voice, that people are frustrated that people that don't believe in the vaccination are filling up the hospitals, and people that need necessary surgeries are being turned away. And my thought of this whole thing, it boils down to whether you believe that the vaccination helps or not. And some of these people don't believe that it has anything to do. It helps absolutely nothing. But see, the truth is it does. And many doctors, almost all doctors in hospitals will say that if you get the vaccination, it'll keep you out of the hospital.
Yes, that is the yes.
But that frustration that you feel comes down to one thing. It comes down to you're looking at this person and they do not believe the scientific, truthful fact of the matter. And that leads to what you were talking about an hour ago.
Well, again, listen, to me, this goes back to people going, well, you're vaccinated, what do you care? Because it's not just about me. It's not just about me. I have a 5-year-old. Listen, if it were just me, I wouldn't give a fat frog's ass about unvaccinated people. I have a 5-year-old who can't get vaccinated. She's going to start kindergarten. She'll wear a mask. Kids do not care about the masks. The adults have been the ones pissing and moaning the whole time. Kids are fine with the masks, so I'm not worried about
them correctly.
They love it. Well, they don't care, right? But so I have been wearing my mask again when I'm in a store or something because I'm not worried about me. I don't want to bring something home to my kindergartner.
Exactly.
So people are like, I don't believe the science. Okay, well, A, you're not a doctor. So your opinion, you think there's an invisible man who lives in the sky. So your opinion on science means less than nothing to me. So if it were just about people not getting vaccinated, that would be something altogether. If it didn't affect other people, no one would care. These wouldn't even be arguments if it was just something confined to you. But viruses mutate by definition. And the more people who aren't vaccinated, the more those things can fester and mutate. And then you come up with something that, I mean, sooner or later, we're all going to die from something because there are going to be enough people. It don't matter. And there's going to be some, world extinction event virus. And it'll be, curtains for all of us. But whatever. I don't know. Tom, thank you for the call. I got to move on here, brother. But I appreciate it. Don't get me all worked up. Bill, don't people know not to get me worked up?
Yeah, but then they
haven't I
step down from your soapbox?
I get you worked up.
But it's not my soapbox.
It's a big old soapbox with a bunch of people standing on it that are vaccinated with a bunch of proof at this point where they go, hey, these people that are going into hospitals right now, 99% of them aren't vaccinated.
And these are the same people screaming like, freedom isn't free. Yes, this is what we're talking about. I know you guys mean it differently. I realize to right-wingers and stuff, freedom without consequence, mostly for white guys, is the absolute goal. That's not what we're talking about. The whole freedom isn't free you guys love to shout about. Yeah, this is what we're talking about. It's not free. Do something to help out other people. You're right. That's the cost. That's your admission price for society. Schwarzenegger was on CNN calling people schmucks.
Yeah.
And if you've never heard schmucks in an Austrian accent, boy, it's fun.
The only way we can lick this virus is, again, if we do like I suggested earlier about politics, we have to come together rather than fighting and always just saying, this, according to my principles, this is a free country and I'm going to have the freedom to wear no mask. Yeah, you have the freedom to wear no mask, but you know something? You're a schmuck for not wearing a mask.
Like how he says, the only way we're going to lick this virus. Keep your droplets to yourself, Arnold. I got a break. I'll have those Sebastian Bach tickets for you. It's the 30th anniversary of Slave to the Grind, which I think is the penultimate Skid Row album with Sebastian Bach. He's going to perform it in its entirety. The show is out at MGM Northfield Park in November. So if you want to check out Sebastian Bach, I'll hook you up here shortly. And also, I'm burying the lead. I'll have another trip to Vegas for you at 5:30. A keyword. Listen closely for that. That'll get you out to our iHeartRadio Music Festival next month. is coming back to show 30th anniversary of Slave to the Grind from Skid Row. Bach plays the album in its entirety. The show's going to go down out at the MGM Northfield Park Center Stage on Saturday, November 13th. LiveNation.com for the details. If you're a Big Hair Wednesday fan or you just have a little soft spot in your heart for Sebastian Bach, caller 10, couple of tickets here for you. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
You'd flee a wildfire.
Evacuate.
You'd prepare for a hurricane, but there's no escaping this disaster.
It's one of the worst disasters that I've seen in my career.
It's the Alan Cox Show
on 100.7 WMMS.
Indians got shut out by the Oakland A's. In fact, the A's scored more in today's game than they did in the prior two games. 17-0 was the final today. That's one for the books. So the Indians will hit the road. They'll start up the weekend series in Detroit at Comerica Park against the Tigers. That is tomorrow night at 7:10 here on MMS, your FM home for future Cleveland Guardians baseball. And, and then they'll go to Minnesota. They'll play Kirby Puckett, the Minnesota Twins. And then they'll come back home next weekend to play the Angels of Anaheim. I don't have an old-timey reference for the Angels. No, he was with the Dodgers. Fernando Valenzuela was with the Dodgers, right? Who's an old legendary Angel?
Danny Glover?
Danny Glover.
He was the manager of the team when they finally turned things around back in the 90s.
Okay. God, who was with the Angels? Here, let me Google.
I know Albert Pujols was with them for a while.
Was he?
And what's his face?
Nolan Ryan. How could I forget Nolan Ryan?
Yeah, but you don't think of Nolan Ryan being with them. You think of him with the Astros or the Rangers.
I'll tell you. The number one Angel. He's got a local connection. His wife beat him up. Chuck Finley.
Oh, yeah,
remember
right.
Chuck
Yeah,
Finley?
Chuck Finley, yeah.
They drafted him, I think. And then he came to play for the Indians. That's when Tawny Catania was beating him up.
Is Mike Trout still with them?
Oh, God. I don't know.
He's like the best player in the league.
He's one of the best players. Yeah, you're right. In the whole league.
Team.
Yeah. Yeah, he's on the Angels.
Yeah.
Center fielder, number 27.
Are they a crap team? I don't even know what they're...
I don't know. Why not?
They're supposed to be my C team. I did not pay a lot of attention to baseball this year.
The Angels are your C team.
Yeah, I switched it out. Yeah, they're bad.
It used to be what? Who the...
my C team was the Rays.
Oh, the Rays.
Yeah.
They're
the
in
B
first
team,
place.
Rockies, yeah.
Yeah. Angels are... They're 57-58.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great. I mean, it's not,
It's not terrible, but it's not...
whatever.
They're not going to make the playoffs. There's some breaking news.
Oh.
I think I know too.
Exclusive news update.
The late Tawny Catania's ghost beat up Chuck Finley.
That's right. Jamie Spears agrees to step down as Britney's conservator. Very important to Poundcake.
I was gonna get. I'm just afraid that she's gonna fall into the arms of someone more evil.
Why is he doing that? He's been fighting, spending tons of her money on a lawyer to get. She's been paying for her own prosecution in this. Why is he doing that?
He says, "What is it?" There's a whole big garden.
Why now? I'll tell you why. Because he wants to prove he's not the villain.
Probably.
He goes, fine, go ahead.
Yeah, because the statement is something like he doesn't think it's the right thing to do at this time, but with all the pressure, he just wants to step away from it and kind of, like you said, be like, you'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see.
You'll see. Okay, well, there you go. For you Britney Spears fans, if hashtag Free Britney, Octothorpe Free Britney has been something for you.
Mr. Spears, he does not believe that a public battle with his daughter over his continuing service as her conservator would be in her best interests. So that's basically what it comes down to.
Wow. All right. Well, there you go.
Alan Cox Show. Exclusive news update.
But the bitch is 39, though. She's 39.
She just got her first iPad.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I can't figure out.
exciting.
That's why I don't understand this thing at all. How a grown woman has,
because they said that she is like severely mentally ill, like damaged. That industry did something to her, like physically. Something to her, to where she's repressing memories.
They didn't put a chip in her brain.
You don't
They
know
didn't
that.
lobotomize her. Oh, come on.
You don't know that. She said that she was abused by her therapist, who said died. Why would she cheer on somebody's death when he was supposed to be giving her treatment? They did something to her. I don't know what, and I'm sure she's probably bound by contracts and pissing people off, and she's probably afraid for her life.
She's bound by pissing people off.
Because she probably don't want to. She's powerless. Like, who hires her security? Who hires her maintenance people? She doesn't handle any of that stuff. She don't handle any of her finances. So she's bound by like people helping her. So if she pisses off the wrong people, imagine what will happen then.
Maybe she'll uncover those boobs.
She doesn't even post her own Instagram too.
Well, who's posting the boobs?
It was noted that she sends her pictures to a marketing firm, and then they post on her behalf. None of that stuff is done by her. So I mean,
but if she sends them the photo, why is there a middleman? Why not just put it on your?
Because they don't trust her to have that the emails and passwords to get into her own account. Because she might.
So they don't post everything she sends them.
Yeah, they filter it.
I want to see the outtakes.
The outtakes, yeah, exactly.
I want to see the Britney roll, the B-roll of what doesn't go on that Instagram account.
Yeah, there's definitely filters, from what I hear.
So what? She's got a phone that doesn't have Instagram on it.
Got a jitterbug.
She probably has a fake account that she can like look at stuff and like follow people, but it's not Britney Spears' official account. Like she probably has.
Why
like,
don't she just post on that and be like, "Hey, this is Britney here. This is my burner account, and I'm here to tell you guys all the truth right now."
It's Britney's marketing firm, bitch. Britney Spears, a few years ago in happier times, had her own Las Vegas residency. Not any longer. It wasn't that long ago. But you can get out to Vegas. We're doing the iHeartRadio Music Festival next month, 17th and 18th, I believe, out there at the T-Mobile Arena. It's going to be Coldplay and Journey and Weezer and a lot of other bands, too. I think Billie Eilish is on it. And we want to send you. So we'll fly you and a pal out, get you put up, and take care of everything, right? So this is your chance to win. Last one today. Listen closely at the keyword, and good luck.
Now, your chance to win a trip to our iHeartRadio Music Festival. Text the nationwide keyword, Vegas, to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's Vegas to 200-200. Good luck from 100.7 WMMS.
Buzzard Radio.
Oh, baby, oops, I did it again. I play with your heart. Got lost in the game. Oh, baby, oops, you think I'm in love? That I'm sent from above.
Is there any chance that Alex Jones could become her conservator?
I think that's what we should get going right now at change.org.
Yeah, get on that.
I've been too quiet on this for too long. I have to support Britney. With a taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under. Taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you. Don't you know that you're toxic?
It almost sounds like he'd never heard her music before, and he was trying. Listen,
I hear it occasionally.
I
They
really
never bought albums or anything like that. Just it was always kind of a passive thing for.
I
him.
really like that he's trying new things. Rod Carew. How could I have forgotten Rod Carew and Reggie Jackson?
Yeah.
For Christ's sake. Oh,
See, but again, Rod Carew. I don't know. I think of Murder. Isn't that him?
No.
Who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
The football player.
Oh, you're thinking of Ray Rice? Or
No, not Ray Rice.
Ray Caruth.
Ray Caruth.
Yeah,
that's what I was
yeah.
thinking of. But
no, Rod Carew is from Panama or something.
Reggie Jackson, I only think of with the Yankees.
Yeah, I do too. That's why I forgot him. Yeah. Is Ray Caruth still in jail, or is he out running around?
See, I knew he was in jail for something. That's why I mixed him up.
Well, yeah,
he got out.
Oh, he did get out. Okay,
He did get out because I think we talked about that for.
Okay.
And again, I just mixed him up with Rod Carew.
Yeah, Ray Caruth played for the Panthers, right? For Carolina. Alan, I'm severely mentally ill and I ruin my life constantly. Where's my conservator? Well, that's a good.
You don't have millions of dollars.
You need to appoint one.
Well, no one. Someone can apply on like their behalf. I looked all this up. So if someone really loves you, and all they have to do is like go file a complaint and show proof, and then.
And again, we are only privy to the information that they give us.
That's what I'm saying.
So all the Free Britney people,
And
you know,
I still
everyone.
think there's a lot of speculation.
Yes, but also not just her dad. Her dad was being made out to be the villain, and he may very well be. But her sister didn't exactly leap to her defense. Kevin Federline was like, if she's going to get my kids, I need a full psychological evaluation. So everyone in her orbit was like, okay, but you guys aren't getting the full story. So,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, something happened to her, and I'm not saying it's her fault. I do think that she is mentally impaired, but it was because of all the trauma that being the biggest thing since Madonna, all that stuff happened to her. So we are partly to blame for because it just.
Who's this we white man?
No,
I never cared.
People followed her in the news. Like, she couldn't even get into a car. I can't believe she was walking out barefooted, like with no security, no nothing. She's just walking out looking crazy.
You guys that like that pop music. This isn't on me.
That's right. I was like 13, like when she was.
That's exactly the age group they're going after.
I don't think I followed. I only knew of the umbrella incident because the media made it a spectacle. It's not like I was like looking it up. I wasn't familiar with TMZ back then. But people formed their careers around following Britney Spears, like created blog sites and businesses.
Right, because it's something that you could do to make money. So if you guys would stop caring about Britney Spears and the Kardashians, their mental health would be better. So actually, you're doing them a disservice by being fans of them.
Okay. I don't even know what to. I don't even have a rebuttal for that.
Well, because that's like they're getting all this power. And again, I think you can still be a fan of them, but like there's people that I'm a fan of, but no one's following them around because you're not getting that kind of. Because people want to know about their private life. With like Coheed and Cambria, I don't know anything about those guys' personal life at all.
And you don't need to.
And I don't need to.
Who cares?
I just want to hear the dumb songs.
Yeah, play the songs.
And then when someone's like, "Hey, they suck," I'm like, "I can see why you think that, but I like them." Like it's not something I gotta fight with the people about.
Right.
It's
okay if you don't like them.
Yes,
I do.
It's what I like. I don't need to follow anybody around. I don't need to know what kind of shampoo they use. I don't need any of that stuff. I don't need to know about their personal life, how many who their boyfriend is, if they're going to break up or anything like that. I just don't care. Don't care.
Alan, Reggie Jackson's career, you'll recall, with the Angels was marred by the attempted murder of the Queen of England. Oh, I forgot about that.
I must kill the Queen. I must kill the Queen.
There was a gun under home plate.
That's right.
Reggie Jackson. Oh, what a great actor he was. They were like, hey, OJ was so good. Let's get Reggie Jackson in there. I must kill Pap Schmear. Wasn't that Naked Gun 2 with Reggie Jackson?
No, that was the first one.
Was it really? With Ricardo Montalban?
Yes, because it was Naked Gun 2.5, if you'll recall.
Right.
And that one, what was that one?
Must kill Pap Schmear.
Can't remember.
I thought that was. I thought the one with Reggie Jackson was Naked
The baseball
Gun 2.
game was the first one.
Oh, okay.
The second one.
Second one was the. Second one was.
I think the third one was the one with Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh, okay.
Which is revealed
Hexagon
at the end of the
Oil
movie,
headquarters.
That Anna Nicole Smith has a penis, and it was a very weird.
It's like Ace Ventura
penis shadow that they used. It was a very curvy one.
Yeah,
I think is to imply that it was tucked, but it was very strange.
Okay, Naked Gun 2. The premise of it was that there was a doctor that was trying to create renewable energy, and of course he must be killed because of the oil and gas lobby. So art imitates life,
right?
Really. Yeah, a lot of those 80s, and of course there was a third one, Naked Gun 33 and a third, yes. Yeah. The Final Insult is what it was called.
That's the one with Anna Nicole Smith.
That was the OJ's final role before he was, of course, accused of murdering his ex-wife and her friend. So Anna Nicole Smith, I forget how old. I always think that Anna Nicole Smith was like 19 when she died, but she was 40-something, wasn't she?
Yeah.
When she died? Well, she's 39. But little Vicky Lynn Hogan. I got a break. I'm going to have what for you? Oh, nothing. Just more hilarity from me and Bill and Poundcake and whatever. You can text if you like, 35192. You can watch live at alancoxshow.com. You can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox.
216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Mary's out today. She's doing stand-up in Boston tonight. She'll be back tomorrow. Theoretically.
Yeah.
Bill's in Pittsburgh tonight. He's got to get out of here in a minute.
Yeah.
Off to
10 more minutes of Bill.
You know they call Pittsburgh the Steel City, Bill.
Right.
No one's ever determined why that is.
It's birthplace of the Hamburglar.
Oh.
And he steals hamburgers.
Oh, it's Steal.
Yes.
Oh, boy, that answers a long, long pondered question. The Steel City, the Hamburglar.
It's like a great mascot.
Robble, Yins. Yeah. This guy steals all of it. Yeah, he was a thief.
Yeah.
One of your mascots was a thief. Now, was he convicted?
Yeah, I mean, he was wearing...
He was wearing the black and white...
Well,
Okay.
here's the thing. He was basically wearing prison clothes, but he had a mask and I feel like a big hat, like a big flat brim hat.
Which you're going to see.
And a cape. Right. To hide his identity. But he's in prison clothes at the same time. Like, he was in, like, the old-fashioned, like, striped prison clothes. So I always thought that was a weird aspect of it. It's like, so he's been caught, and they keep letting him out, or he's breaking out, and then stealing hamburgers. But also, how many hamburgers do you have to steal for you to go to prison?
Not only that, but if you broke out, you would steal a car. Not hamburgers.
Right.
You want to get out of town. I mean, a guy's got to eat. But, yeah, you'd think if you broke out, because, listen.
Or to steal money and buy hamburgers.
Right. We can accept that the clothes on your back are the only ones you have. But if you're trying to keep a low profile as a recently broken out convict, you're not going to wear a Zorro hat and a mask. You're going to try to blend in.
Oh, he did have a tie.
A tie. And running around saying, robble. I mean, your catchphrase is your crime. You'd want to keep your mouth shut. Snitches get stitches.
And talkers get walkers.
Talkers get walkers. Is that because they break your legs?
I think so.
Talkers get walkers?
I don't know. I've never snitched. I never had to because people know not to tell me things.
Right. Well, okay, but that's no... you've mentioned that, and that's probably good, but that's no accomplishment on your part. They're doing the work. They're withholding information from you.
Good. I don't want to know.
I understand.
I don't want to know your crime so I can snitch on you. Because therefore, you telling me your crime, therefore makes it my crime.
You're an accessory. After the fact, what if you crossed paths with the Hamburglar in Pittsburgh, his hometown? Would you report his whereabouts to the authorities? Would you try to lure him with freshly made hamburgers?
But that means I have to make them.
No, you could buy them, because as I understand it, he's just not stealing all the hamburgers. He wants McDonald's hamburgers.
McDonald's hamburgers.
Right.
But he also
Mickey D's.
lives in McDonald land, which is, it's a monopoly in McDonald land, so there's no Wendy's there.
And have they ever established geographically where McDonald land, or is it like Springfield in The Simpsons?
Yeah, I think it's
on
like
Opie's
that.
Island.
This is where I have to explain the concept of advertisers to Poundcake. What if the Hamburglar was in prison for making hamburgers out of people? That's a whole new wrinkle.
Robert.
That's a whole new
so you
wrinkle.
missed it because you can't see Poundcake, but after he did the obese island.
Yeah, he did his little wobble, didn't he?
Yeah, he did his
He went
little
wobble, wobble.
Again, I twitch.
Yeah.
You make fun of me because
But it's not-
I've always had to twitch.
That's not the twitch.
No, he
That
does his
is your-
I'm pleased with myself wobble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the I made a funny joke.
That was your
wobble.
pastrami
Yeah,
wobble.
it's your pastrami wobble.
I forgot all about pastrami.
Pastrami wobble.
It is. He's got a pastrami wobble. When he thinks he got a really good line off, he does a little shoulder wobble. He's all proud of himself.
But I don't. But you guys think I'm doing it because I'm proud of myself. I just do it all the time. You guys just realize it once because you guys.
You
are
don't
looking
do
at
it all the time.
I see it when you make jokes like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when I see that particular wobble.
And Bill sees you, I don't. He
Yes.
sees you throughout the show, so I'll defer to his.
I really missed the fact that your monitors aren't. Were they raised or were they lowered? I don't remember. But you can't see
I
me
had them
anymore.
stacked. I don't need to see you. I just need to hear you.
Wow.
He'll tell me if you're doing your pastrami wobble.
Pastrami wobble? Can we make pastrami wobble shirts?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right. Pastrami wobble.
What did I say pastrami for? Oh, because I said that instead of saying bologna, I say it's pastrami.
It's pastrami.
Okay, now I remember.
Well, he was so happy.
He's so happy about it.
And I want him to be happy. There's nothing wrong with that. But it was he was very pleased with himself.
Pastrami.
Right.
Because what were you saying though? Like, because there was no bologna being said.
Nobody mentioned bologna. He said pastrami. I said, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Instead of somebody saying bologna, I say pastrami." I'm like, nobody said bologna. You jumped to pastrami, thereby completely losing the narrative thread that we would all be able to follow.
I don't know
and
what I was...
respond appropriately. We
here it is.
Oh, it is to laugh.
Hooey. It started with hooey.
Hooey. There you go.
And then it moved to pastrami.
Mm-hmm.
I got the audio here.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. These stupid Instagram things, they're loops.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, it's pastrami instead. Nobody said bologna. He said hooey. Mm-hmm.
So he skipped the bologna part and went straight to pastrami.
You need to refer to the bologna to bring people along to the pastrami. And you wouldn't say it's hooey.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm very proud of you, Poundcake.
I am too.
I appreciate your pastrami wobble.
We will wobble for you. Yeah. How about that?
Pastrami wobble.
Alan, the big problem was that Mayor McCheese was soft on crime. That's what allowed the Hamburglar being there in the first place. Mayor McCheese, though, was not the chief of police.
Right.
He was the mayor.
What was I think there was a police officer.
There was.
What was his name?
Mayor McShake. Officer McShake. I don't know. McDonald Land Police Officer. Alan, name 3 words you thought you'd never, ever Google. McDonald Land Police Officer Big Mac.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And he's in the old Bobby costume.
Yeah.
Officer Big Mac. Okay, so Officer Big Mac was soft on crime. That's why so many chocolate shakes were shot.
Also,
he wears a constable uniform with a disproportionately small helmet.
Dude, now I'm actually in the camp of getting shakes every time I go to a fast food place. Like Arby's, McDonald's, Wendy's, like they all have shakes, and I feel like now I have to get a chocolate shake.
Somebody was giving me a hard time for that on the...
Why?
Hey, guys, it's Albert here. Hope you guys are having a great day. I like to chuckle at some things that you guys will say that maybe no one else does. That I think is weird. And one of them being, Mary asked Alan, "What, you don't ever make a milkshake at home?" To which Alan replies, "Why would I? There's so many other places that'll do it for you." To which I would ask Alan then, so I'm assuming you never make dinner at home because there's so many other places that will do it for you. I don't know. It made me laugh because that was kind of a ridiculous statement.
It's apples and oranges. I mean, a milkshake. Remember, Mary's cooking for one. Just her. Right? I'm cooking for 3 when I cook. I'm not making a milkshake for one. I'm going and buying it.
Right, but you can make a milkshake for 3.
I'm not going to do that.
Your daughter would love that.
No, stop.
Oh, it'd be so fun for her.
And listen,
she gets to add the milk.
I'm the only. If it's something only I can make, yes, I will make it. If it's something, and I don't cook that often, but I'm the only one, for instance, that can make my famous jelly donut lasagna. All right, I'm the only one that can make it. It's a tried and treasured Cox family recipe.
Well,
and
we
I was
wouldn't know
entrusted
because
with
you
it.
never bring us any.
That's right. I'll tell you right now. You start, right? It's very specific. Spread a layer of jelly on the bottom of your dish, right? And then you take those donuts from which you squeeze that jelly, flatten them out. So single layer of donut dough, then a layer of pasta sheets, and then a layer of canned corn. Got to have veggies. And then another single layer of pasta sheets.
And
right?
when it comes to veggies, there's nothing nutritiously that beats canned corn. I'm so mad about this never having your pasta and your jelly donut lasagna. I'm leaving right now.
And then, all right, fine. Get out of here.
I'm going. I'm going to go to Pittsburgh.